Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another season of Grand Touring Racing for the NASA series here. I'm Victor Vallee, joined alongside Chad Irvine and Charley Daniels here today for pre-race coverage of the Livewire Simsports Grand Prix. Jumping right into it here, Chad. So it's another great season ready to happen. What do you think's how is it gonna go this year?
A little bit of a different format than we saw last year, down to one class of cars as compared to two, where we had the GTE and GT3s. Everybody running the
Let's go.
GT3s this season, if I remember right, or did there? Yeah, GT3s this season. Still have the Pro and the M classes, so a little change to how the points are going to work there, but you still, like this season now, we will have guys like Christian Challoner, last season's defending AM champion, running in the pro category, and he's going to go up against guys the likes of Michael Janney, last season's champion, and the Kingsburys, and some of the guys that have been around this season or this series for the last 2 seasons so far.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, with the GT3 cars, I think it's going to create a huge battle in the point standings this year. You know, I think I was a huge proponent on having one single class for these guys to all battle it out in. Yeah, we're going to have the 2 points systems with the Pro and AM. As you can see on the banners of these cars, there's Michael Janney out on track right now. Last year's points champion in Pro. So he was able to carry the 1, but decided to carry the 113 instead. Similar to how Lewis Hamilton does it over in Formula 1. This year, it is sponsored by Penguin RC this year, and I think we're going to be able to bring in Brian's son here in a moment. Say, Brian, you got a copy? I don't know if we got him or not.
Hey, Brian, you there? Well, I guess he must have stepped away for the moment.
Say he must have stepped away. That's all right. We'll go ahead and bring him back down to the paddock where he was. As you can see, it is the Livewire Simsports Grand Prix, and the man who runs that is Steve Lane. Let's see if we can get Steve Lane up in here. Hey, Steve Lane, this is Victor Vallee up in the ASN commentary cube. You got a copy? So maybe we're not having any luck today here. Let me see. Let me make sure these guys can talk in here, because I think that might be the issue. Let's just go ahead and take a look and see. Actually, looks like they should be able to, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
Maybe they've all just stepped away. They don't want to talk to you, Victor.
Yeah,
They don't need to like it very much.
That seems like it is. That's all right, though. But we'll go ahead and talk about a couple of our sponsors here. Penguin RC, of course. The title sponsor this year for the Sports Car Challenge, and Nitro Circus as well as the presenting sponsor. That's why we're over here on Nitro Circus. It's a little bit different. It's a Monday. Why are we on Nitro Circus? Well, and say Charley Daniels gave us the great opportunity to be over here on Nitro Circus, and we got to thank him for that. I know he's here in the Discord with us, and Charley, what a great opportunity this is.
Oh man, no one's more excited than we are over at Nitro to get more iRacing on our Twitch, and especially this league organized by you guys so well, and it's really cool to have a sort of legit iRacing competition happening right here on Nitro Circus Twitch for the first time. So you're thanking me, but we thank you guys for putting this all together the way you have. It's pretty incredible how just all the parts come together. I've been watching in the wings the last few weeks at how much work you guys put into this behind the scenes, and I hope all the drivers appreciate it, and I know the fans will, because this is it's not just slap it together and put it on. You guys really put your heart and souls into this, so thank you guys so much for all of it.
Yeah, it's definitely our pleasure to be over here, and it's such a great opportunity to bring more action to the Nitro Circus fans. And as I say, of course, we're going to be having tomorrow night, I believe. Is that correct? We're going to have more racing tomorrow night with the Fun Series. Is that correct?
That's right, yeah. So we'll have, starting tonight, it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays every week through the end of the season. So that's 8 more weeks, I believe. So we'll keep an eye out for more announcements about timing and everything like that. It's a lot to keep track of for all of us. So one of the best ways you can find out what's going on is to just join our Discords. I'm throwing the link in the chat right now. If you aren't already a member of our Discords, join them both. It's the best way to keep track of everything that's going on out here. Actually, while I'm talking to real quick, Teal72 with the Tier 1 sub, 14 months. Trevor Teal, of course, is also a rallycross driver and iRacing guy, and our #1 sub gifter for Nitro Circus Twitch. So tons of support coming from him. Thank you so much, Trevor Teal.
Yeah, it's always great to see the support, and of course, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I say that's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get on with it here and say we're looking at. Go ahead and pull up the ticker here and show you guys who's leading in practice right now. Is the 107 of Nicholas. I was gonna say, hopefully I pronounce this right.
Lawbish.
Lawbish. I think that's how you pronounce it. Nicholas Lawbish. Leading practice right now. Say it's his NASA debut, and here he is at the top of the standings. Last year's champions Michael Janney and Christian Challoner, second and third. Daniel Munoz in fourth. David Schofield fifth. Brian Son, we were just talking about him earlier. He's kind of the brains behind the Penguin RC stuff over there. All your great simulation needs, and he's running sixth. Josh Clogg seventh. He was a runner-up last year in pro standings, I believe. Kevin Fanning eighth. Peter Houston ninth, and Brandon Lambert rounding out that top 10. So much talent, so much going on right now. We got about 22 minutes until we get to qualifying here, and gosh, there's just so much to talk about here. We can even talk about what we were doing last year a little bit and how this year's a little bit different.
Yeah,
let's talk about that. I mean, as you guys can probably tell, we don't have we're now a single class series ish. We no longer are running the GTE cars along with the GT3s. We're now running all GT3s, but we do have a couple distinction there. We're going to have our GT3 Pro and our GT3 AM. You'll be able to tell, as you can see right now on the 42 of Peter Houston, he's got that banner that says Pro. Everybody else will have AM, I'm assuming.
So
and it should make for a very interesting combination, because we have equal footing among drivers, and they're going to be racing, but they're technically racing for different points.
Yeah, there you go. There is a look at one of the AM cars. I believe right now Brian Son is the fastest AM car out there on track right now. 6th overall. And there he is with the AM banner on his vehicle there. And that beautiful GT3 Ferrari. That's the first time we're going to see a GT3 Ferrari at a NASA sanctioned event. We saw the GTLM last year. But of course, we have the privilege to have the GT3s this year. Beautiful banners by Brandon Lambert, who's actually out there on track right now, I believe. Let's see if I can find him. Yep, there he is. He's also an AM car. And wow, look at that beautiful car. So wow. We got beautiful cars everywhere out here on track. And like I said, we got to thank Brian Lambert for his efforts behind the scenes to get all of these banners looking really good out there. And I honestly can't believe it's happening. Everything looks so cool, and it's going to be really cool to keep track of points this year. And the reason why we're doing 2 different classes is because, obviously, as you can tell, the top 5, all pro drivers right now. And some of the M guys were like, hey, if we're going to go to one class, how are we going to get, prizes in the championship if there's pros? So what the admins decided to do was they split it into 2 different classes. You have the pro standings and you have your AM standings. Any driver under, I think it's 200, is 2,500 I rating is in the AM class. And that allows for these guys to have a chance at the points. And this allows for anybody. So if anyone's out there right now that wants to come out and race, you might actually have a shot at winning the championship instead of having to worry about these pesky pros out there stealing all the points and stealing all the fun.
Yeah, it definitely makes things a
Maybe
little
it's gonna be
different. Something else that's changed, by the way, as we look at Michael Janney's car. That's a different livery than what he ran. Or sorry, that's Josh Claude's car, but he's running a similar one to Michael Janney. One thing you'll notice is that they are now running for a different team. They're back to Spark Virtual Racing with Fiercely Forward. In our last season, Janney was with Renovo Racing, and Clog was with Spark Last Lap Motorsports. So a little change there for Michael Janney, and a big change to the roster at Spark. In general, they're now up to, I think their third driver is Ray Kingsbury once again. They're in the 25 machine. So 3 drivers there for Fiercely Forward and Spark teaming up. Plenty of different teams representing. We've got 2 different Spark teams. The other one's going to be Lambert, Forest, and Mofta. We've got some guys from Red Kite once again, as well as, of course, our sponsor for the series, Penguin RC Simulations, got a team going. Matco Tools back once again, but they have switched out of the Ford. They have gone over to Ferrari, so the other side of that Le Mans battle, as well as, of course, Team iRacing being represented by their very own Christian Challoner.
Yep, and as you can see, oh, he's sliding through the grass here. Hang on that thing, Robbie. Well, Robbie's the only Ford in the field. I believe Christian Challoner was going to run the Ford, but decided to run the Audi instead. Wanted to see what all the hoopla was about with the Audi. So Robbie is the only Ford in the field. And the DGR works machine right there. That's the Ford GT. That's the old Ford GT, GT3 machine. And so with that, with him being in the field tonight, that means all 7 manufacturers in the GT3 class are represented tonight, which is honestly, I'm really excited about that, because I haven't been able to see such a crazy representation. We have McLarens, we have Audis, we have Lamborghinis, we have BMWs. I think we only have one BMW, and that's Peter Houston out there. But still, so many guys out there, and they're all putting on a show for us, and they decided to run all 7 manufacturers.
Yeah, it's great to see the community involvement for sure. Just overall, the way that you'll see guys like Christian Challoner, he can just hop into anything and be fast. I was talking to him earlier about him running the BMW versus the Audi. Wants to see what that car is like. There's a lot of hype surrounding it, and as one of the primary guys that works on those cars for iRacing, he just wants to get a better feel for it and see why everybody likes it so much. So he made the switch at the last second, and he's out there right now in the Audi, sitting P3 on the timing sheet.
Yeah, P3 on the timing sheet. And Mike, I know you were about to say something as well.
Yeah, I'll just say I'm surprised at the lack of BMWs in this race. BMW was the dominant manufacturer in our last season in GT3, and it's one of the most recent GT3 cars released. I expect to see more of them, but it's definitely very interesting.
Yeah, most definitely very interesting to see that. And let's see if we can pull up one of our drivers here. See if Brian's still sitting there. I think he might be away from the keyboard or something. He's been sitting there for quite a while, so we won't pull him up, not quite yet. But let's see if we got Steve Lane out there. Steve Lane on the track. I think we could try to get Steve now. Looks like he's out there making some laps. So let's see if we can get Steve up in here. We'll try this again. Hey Steve, are you able to talk to us up here in the ASN commentary cube now? And it says we could hear a little bit out of your mic, but I didn't quite hear what you said there, man.
Steve, got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
There we go. Hey, Steve, just wanted to get your thoughts and everything on the race tonight. Of course, you guys over at Livewire Simsports decided to sponsor the event. Tell us about them and tell us about how your night's been going so far as well.
It's been going pretty good. Just working on a little fine-tune adjustment. We'll see what happens during the race, I guess.
Yeah, we saw you switch cars from last year, going from the Ford to the Ferrari. You mentioned it earlier, that little Le Mans battle and the whole movie and everything. You went from one side, from the good guys to the bad guys. What justified the change for you?
Well, I think the GT was just, for me, it was hard to drive. It's hard to be consistent with it. It felt stable, but slow at the same time. I think the Ferrari is more nimble. It suits more tracks. So.
We appreciate you and all your sponsorship with Sequential putting your name on this race and everything. Maybe tell us a little bit more about Livewire and what you guys do over there.
Well, Livewire is just one of my side projects. It's just basically just for iRacing or sim sports in general. Matco Tools was nice enough to put it on the side of the car. I figured it's about time for me to give back to the league by sponsoring the race.
Well, hey, we appreciate all the sponsorship, and we're in for a good season this year. Best of luck to you, and we'll see you guys over the next couple of weeks, where we're going to have a great show from you guys and everybody here in what's hopefully shaping up to be another great season of NASA GT racing.
Yeah, it sounds good. I think there's going to be a lot of close battles up and down the field, so looking forward to it.
All right, Steve, best of luck, and get back out on track there, get some practice laps in.
All right, thanks.
That is Steve Lane joining us once again up here at the commentary booth. He was running, of course, with Team Matco Tools again last year, and that team looks like it has stuck together from last year to this with Brokaw, Lane, and Fanning, the three drivers representing Matco Tools. You can recognize them from the two black stripes running down the center of their cars. Sticking with that Ford GT look and styling there. Got about 4 or 5 different colors of it that this one switch through. You see 2 of them right there, the blue and the black, both with the silver stripes. Very recognizable cars in this field. Those two. And then also some of the Spark guys, a little different than what we normally see from that team. But the Fiercely Forward guys with their yellow and black, those cars will stand out and pop. And I mean, they're just so many clean-looking cars in this series, and they put on a show every time. This is the 32.
Yeah, that's David Bush the third right there. I was gonna say he's another new face for the NASA Sim Racing Series here. I think he's making his debut tonight. Beautiful pink chrome. I've actually never thought about doing pink chrome, but golly bum, that looks good.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's an interesting paint scheme.
It looks amazing. The 32, I don't think we've even seen that number been run before last season. But he's racing, representing the Lunatic Racing banner. I see there on the nose of that car. And it's always great to see some new guys jumping in here. We've got quite a number of new drivers this season. So it's definitely going to be fun. We got some new names, like Labish at the top of the timing charts, Munoz, Schofield, Bush, and you also have some familiar ones: Janney, Challoner, Clog, Houston. A lot of those guys jumping in, coming back for their second, if not their third season here in NASA Touring Car Championship.
Yeah, we really do have the best combination of veterans of the series and of newcomers, and that's what makes this series maybe the best GT series on iRacing. I mean, we have just such a diverse field. We go from like maybe average guys to just the best on the service. It's great.
Absolutely, and we're going to be joined by Michael Janney here, last year's champion in the pro category. Michael, you got a copy.
Hey guys, glad to be here already. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we figured, start off the year right, get a review before the race and see what your thoughts are going into the season with the new combined format with the GT3 only.
Yeah, it's nice to have combined. I think back in season 1 of NASA, it was a lot of fun to have the entire GTE field. Competition's looking pretty tight up top, so it's really exciting. I'm not really sure how I compare in terms of consistency yet in the car, since I don't really drive GT3 all that often, but I'm super excited, just looking for consistent results and see where that pans out over the course of the season, I guess.
Got some different tracks compared to last season. What's your thoughts on the schedule and all the changes this year?
The schedule is interesting because a lot of the tracks I either have never run or never run in a GT3, so there's a lot of practice I'll need to be doing and just familiarization with some of the tracks. But I think it's nice because a lot of times in leagues you'll have the same popular like 10 tracks. You don't really deviate from that, so it's cool to have unique ones, I guess.
Well, hey, I know you've got a race to get ready for, so we'll let you get back to that. But hey, congratulations on your championship last season, and maybe we'll be talking to you after the race again tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, but thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
That's
was
Michael Janney.
Yeah.
Driver of the 113. Looks like we might have Christian Challenger. He popped into the
It
media
looks
pen
like
for a
right now
second.
they're in the drivers'
I was
meeting,
gonna
so
say,
we might
I
want to
moved-
hold off.
I was gonna say I moved him up to the media pen, but unfortunately I realized the driver's meeting was going on, so I said, all right, I'll let him go listen to the driver's meeting before we get any further in. So a little bit of information here about the weather today. We finally got that back running. Beautiful pictures there and everything. So it is partly cloudy out there right now, and the ambient temperature is 73 degrees Fahrenheit with the track temp at 110, with the humidity at 36%, with a wind from the southeast of 2 miles per hour. And we are actually right now joined by Josh Mertz as well here. Josh, I know you're calling tonight's event as the play-by-play man, so feel free to jump in whenever, man.
I was waiting to have my wonderfully unscripted intro to be brought in, but taking a look at what's going on here, 23 cars, I believe, and I haven't seen a GT race since I participated at Daytona Beach in that first season. So I've saw bits and pieces in the last season. I've seen bits and pieces throughout practice. It's going to be fairly interesting as we take a look. Nicholas Laubich is at the top of the timing charts by about nearly 2/10 over Janney. And interesting is it's our two defending champions with that weird format we had last season of the two classes that are second and third. And I would have thought that it would have required some getting used to the GT3 cars for Janney, but no, he is up front. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch all season from some of these guys for sure. And just talking about getting used to the car, that's the 199. That's Janney's teammate. That's Josh Clogg out there getting the back end stepped around.
We know how just crazy that McLaren is. It's one of the most tail-happy cars on the service. It's going to take a lot of getting used to for those guys.
Let's check in once again with Charley. We haven't talked to you in a minute, Charley. What's going on there in Twitchland? Any updates for us?
Oh, the audience is slowly rolling in. They're ready for a race. I can tell. Tony Gov with the Prime sub. Prime sub, 4-month sub. Thank you so much, Tony Gov, for that. Bunch of new followers joining too. If you're out there in Twitch chat, say hey, ask us some questions. Let us know what you think about the race, about the qualifying once it starts. Everything you're seeing, and your comment could be read live on the air. I know you're all dying for that. So.
Yeah, that's one of the new things this season that we are really excited about with the partnership with you guys over at Nitro Circus is getting all the interaction from the Twitch chat, having you here to kind of read the comments and interact with the chat. Interaction is always something that's super important to building a strong community, so that's great to see. Real quickly, we'll kind of just talk through, as we've got a couple minutes left of practice. We're obviously here at Sebring down in Florida. Next week, we're at Watkins Glen for the Go Something Studios Grand Prix of New York. We've got other races as well, like Brands Hatch, Summit Point, and Belle Isle, and we're going all over North America, including our first, we did have a Roval as well last season, so got another Roval, if you can call it that, at Homestead, Miami this time. We've been to Indianapolis, we've been to Daytona, we've been to Charlotte, now we're going to Homestead. always great to see a different variety in tracks, especially that Miami road course that does not get used too often.
Yeah, no, I think the last time I remember even touching that course was, gosh, I think it was FTF last year in the GNS cars. If I remember correctly, I think we had a couple pro guys in that race, and that was right during 2020, right during the pandemic. So it was a crazy time, and so it called for a crazy track as well. So it's great to see us going back to that track. I love that track. Beautiful Homestead Miami Speedway. It gets a run right against the palm trees on the infield and on the oval part of that circuit as well.
Yeah, the thing that differentiates that road course from most Robles is, if I remember, it does not use either of the banked oval corners at the ends of the track. So very different than, say, even the old Indianapolis layout, where the old layout would use one corner, or Daytona where you use the entire banked corner. It's the same at Charlotte. So very different for what you, I guess, could call a Roval, but it's really not.
Yeah, I think just to correct you there, I think we are running the road course with the one oval in turns 3 and 4.
3 and 4 will be utilized for that road course, I do believe. Yes.
Yeah. Well, everything I just talked about went out the window, but anyway, no, it's definitely going to be fun. Looking at the schedule as well, I don't think that we have any repeat tracks once again. Watkins Glen comes back from season 1, actually.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, it's, Belle Isle is something the guys have talked about for a while. Getting another street circuit there, as we were at Long Beach last season. That put on a spectacular show. Sonoma comes back as well from season 1, so nothing from last season coming back, but we've got Sebring here tonight, and it's going to be a fun one to watch for sure, as we got 2 minutes left in practice. Still no changes at the top of the timing charts. You'll see one thing to look out for, though, is that 7 car of Christian Challoner. It says he's 0.3 off the pace, but going back to last season, he would always have something in the bag, some sort of trick to pull off for qualifying, and whether he was a 10th or 2 off the pace in practice, he'd pull out maybe 3 or 4 tenths of a gap to the next car in qualifying. So he definitely has something in the bag. Yeah, we talked about him changing cars from what he intended to run to the Audi. Definitely going to be interesting to watch there.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting. I want to go back to the schedule real quick. I heard you mention one track, Summit Point. I think that's going to be our sleeper race of this season. I'm probably the biggest advocate for that track on the surface, and I think we're going to put in a great show there. It's just such a natural and cool track.
Yeah, 8 weeks this season, down from 10 from last year. We will give the drivers 2, I guess you could call them bye weeks, one for Memorial Day weekend, and another a couple weeks before that. The second week of May, drivers will have off as well. Just kind of to give guys a break, give them a breather, because I know running week in and week out definitely can take its toll on guys, and everyone needs a break, especially in this series where there are no drop weeks. That's something that's a little different from other leagues, so definitely going to be interesting to watch this season play out. Yeah, once again, just kind of going over some changes from last year, down to 1 class of cars. 7 different GT3s represented in today's field, anywhere from 1 to about, I'd say, 15, maybe 10, being the most. I believe it's going to be the Audi or the McLaren. I think highly represented. I think there's 7 or 8 McLarens in the field today, so yeah, definitely going to be fun to watch those guys. But yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to get this season going once again.
Indeed, and we're about to come right to the end of practice here. We have 20 seconds left. Anybody who wants to put in a good time better do so quickly. I don't think they're going to have much of a chance, though.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's kind of just trickling down here. Not too many cars on track right now. Looking at it right now, I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 cars as we have taken the checkered flag here in practice. So we're about to have qualifying start up, and once again, Josh, as I say, you're our play-by-play guy, so give us a little bit of information about what's going on here.
As we begin qualifying for the first round of the Penguin RC Sports Car Challenge presented by Nitro Circus. And I got a little bit of goosebumps saying that one. As we have our 23 cars, 10 laps. They only get 3 laps apiece to see who will come out on top for pole position. As it's Josh Mertz, Mike Berry, Victor Vallee. Chad Irvine's been popping in and out here at the commentary cube. And we have Charley Daniels, our social media specialist, I guess you can call him, for Nitro Circus, going to chime in throughout the event.
And there goes Josh. Or no, there goes Chad.
As Chad, I think, has previous commitments, so he will be done for the evening, and now you get to listen to my wonderful voice. As Nicholas Laubisch, the German, was ahead of the field in practice by the 0.2 of a second over Janney. So it's going to be interesting to see what the 107 can do. He's in the Audi. We only have a couple cars in the Audi, I believe. It's mostly McLaren.
Yeah.
Actually, there's only 2 Audis, Daniel Munoz for Sequential Simsport and Laubisch. So it's really a Lamborghini versus Ferrari versus McLaren field.
So we do have another Audi in the field, which would be Christian Challenger as well, Josh. So we do have him out there.
I must have... Oh, the spreadsheet I have lists him as TBA, so clearly I am not prepared.
Hey, you're fine. I was going to say, I think we're all running a little bit crazy here with our heads cut off. And say, while we do have a moment, I'm going to say, I think it's a pretty good moment to check back in with Charley and see what's going on in Twitch chat world.
The chat is quiet tonight, guys. I think they're still getting used to a Monday night stream, so we got to get some action going here for them to liven up a little bit. But I think a bunch of new followers just joined a few minutes ago. So if you're lurking in chat, say hey. Let us know where you're watching from. It'd be great to chat, get to know you. We have the best community on Twitch. Nicest people in chat, nicest mods, nicest everyone. So say hey if you're out there. Back to you guys.
Absolutely. I'm looking at a little bit of Twitch chat right now. So I see Trevor Teal out there. He said, OMG, please read my comment on air. So I will do that for you, Trevor. So I'll do that for you, man. Absolutely.
You're too nice, Victor. If you feed the stray, they stick around. You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. And that's the way you gotta be. You gotta give the people what they want.
It's true. Thanks. And Teal is one of the biggest supporters, so thank you very much, Trevor Teal. I should have read your comment. You guys are right.
I'm always looking out for the little people, right? Anyway,
something interesting here, gentlemen. I'm looking at our practice order still, as we're still working through qualifying, and Ray Kingsbury, our inaugural champion of the Penguin RC Sports Car Challenge, way down the order. I don't have numbers listed here, but I would say probably around 10th or 12th. And his brother Matt as well. So the Kingsbury brothers, who were very quick in the GTEs. It's interesting to see how the GT3 cars is such a different animal to those.
Yeah, we're really seeing a bit of a difference between the how the two work. I mean, you got Josh Clogg and Michael Janney right up the top, and they're running the top 10. They were GTE last year. I mean, Janney won the championship, Clogg finished second. They've obviously adapted very well, but it's just going to be a rough transition for the guys who just, I guess, weren't able to adapt. It's going to be really interesting to see in these first couple races.
Yeah, you're exactly right on that. You had some drivers like Michael Janney who were able to adapt right away. And you saw him at the top of the charts there almost, I think up in the top 5. And then you have some drivers like Ray Kingsbury who just are not having a good time with the car. And I'm not really sure what the exactly the issue is for these guys, as we see Christian Challenger put down the first blood drawn by Christian Challenger, a 2-minute 160. But just as I
just changed that by 2/10.
By almost 2/10, Nicholas to the top of the charts. This is impressive right there.
The only car within the 2-minute bracket, 159.990. Challenger 2-minute 1:59. Janney 2-minute 3:23. So,
and that's faster than their practice times by almost.
It looks like it's cooling down. It looks like the clouds rolled in and covered up the sun.
Speaking of that,
obviously colder equals faster, more grip. 73 degrees ambient, 103 track temp.
You're exactly right. So, it has gone down by 7 degrees. I remember reading that earlier. It was 110, 7-degree drop in Fahrenheit with the track temp here, guys.
And what's very notable about this track, we've mentioned before, it uses the old airport runways here in Florida, uses some purpose-built sections, and we have the bumpy concrete of those runways. Sunset Bend is going to be a very important corner throughout this evening and turn 1. I haven't driven Sebring in several years, but when I remember driving the prototype around here, if you get it wrong by an inch, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, you're exactly
Indeed,
right on
man.
that. Oh, wow, look at Josh Claw getting very loose there. We're right on board here with him, and he is absolutely on edge here in that McLaren.
We talked about the McLaren, probably the most unstable, maybe kind of tied with that in the Audi. But it's, if you can get it right, you'll get a lot of pace out of it, as we're seeing Janney and Clog up in the top 5.
So we're going
to look at Laubish across the line off monitor here. He went quicker, 0.2 up on his last lap. Janney at a 2-minute .053 as we do take a look at, looks like Clog there in the 199 in that McLaren.
Yeah, he got very loose, and we're taking a look at that right now, but as he gets back out there. And still fastest is that 107. It goes Audi, McLaren, Lamborghini. And then I believe... Actually, yes, that's right. And then you have a Ferrari in 6th. Your sole BMW in 7th.
There's Peter Houston.
Yeah.
In P7.
There he is.
In that number 42.
He's doing a very good job out there, I have to say. In the pro class, did really well last year. Took the fight to Christian Challoner and company. I was really surprised to see so many drivers, especially some of the guys that I've personally had never heard about, taking the fight to Challoner. And so I think today's going to be such a good battle between a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, just even looking at the what I'm most interested in is just seeing Janney and Challoner go at it. I mean, there could have been a little bit of doubt last year as to who was the best driver in the series. I mean, you could say Janney and Challoner were the top 2. But now, I mean, there's nothing separating them. We'll finally see who's the best of the best from last year.
As what's interesting, I don't think, or I think Laubish is in the AM class. I know he's in the pro class because his I rating is like $5,000, I think.
I think it's 6,500 at the last check.
It was something obnoxious. David Busch is actually the highest qualifying car in the AM subclass at a 2-minute 1.417. If I look through the field, Cody Erdman is the next car at a 2-minute 1.717. I think he's running AM. Otherwise, it's Matt Kingsbury.
Yeah.
As I have to get used to seeing more than 10 cars on the track here. As for all of you guys just joining us, as we welcome you to the Penguin RC Sports Car Challenge presented by Nitro Circus here on the Nitro Circus Twitch channel, powered by the Automotive Sports Network. That was an obnoxious amount of stuff to talk.
Yeah, that's right there.
Josh Mertz, Mike Berry in the commentary box. We have Victor Vallee in the production truck. Charlie Daniels down in the paddock, in social media land, Twitch land, whatever you want to call it. As just finishing up qualifying here, we have our format as we get ready. So we have a sprint race of 15 minutes, and the top 8 will be inverted from their positions that they finish in for the 45-minute feature race. Not laps, only time. And I can tell you from the 6-round trial season that I ran previously, that first season, it is so hard to focus in these cars for that amount of time. It is laser focused, no relaxing, no breaks.
Yeah, it's gonna be super. Yeah, it's gonna be super exciting. We saw it last year. The sprint races, we're really giving the feature races a run for their money in terms of the racing quality. And I think we're gonna see that again, especially now that everybody's on an even footing.
As the safety car on track, and it looks like we are gridding, but it almost, unless the format changed, I think it inverts. Oh, okay. So we are all learning together here. So the top 8 have been inverted for the start.
Gonna be. That might have been a bit of an error. It's okay. We persevere through these things.
We will figure it out together. So according to this, if this is correct, Matt Kingsbury and David Bush on the front row, and 2 AM cars, Ray Kingsbury, Josh Klog, Daniel Munoz, Christian Challoner, Michael Janney, and Nicholas Laubisch. So the young German who ended up 0.3 faster than everybody else. I actually think, even if this is unintentional, this is going to be interesting to see. We'll see if the 107 can tear through the field. 5th row of the grid, Christian Ost and David Schofield.
Yeah, we're going to have those 3 fast cars kind of separate from everybody else. Janney, Challoner, Laubisch. And I don't know. Let's see. They've got some AM guys. They got some guys who are about a second off. I mean, they are the pace setters right here. Everybody else is not really within striking distance right now. So we'll see what happens.
As I do think this was an erroneous kind of setup here, but just like NASA in the old days, we just full send and we figure it out as we get there. As I believe the grid slowly getting together, Matt Kingsbury and David Bush III will lead us for these 15 minutes in Sebring. 25 cars getting ready to go. And it looks as though the majority of the field here, Mike, ran within the 201s and the 2-minute 2 bracket. Because we only have 3 cars in the 2-minute and then Laubisch by himself in the 159s.
Yeah, I'm just seeing. It looks like from 3rd to 21st, we from 4th to 21st, well, 4th in qualifying to 21st, we have a bunch of 201s and 202s. The only outlier is 3 guys who didn't qualify: Jason Hulk, Robbie Wilrie, Myra Bonifant Jr., and Christopher Hickman. I think he didn't have exactly the best qualifying, so he's starting the 207.
So I think they're actually going to be fixing the field. So given the formatting error, given the software, we are going to go back to our pole position gridding. So the top 8 will be Laubisch, Janney, Challoner, Munoz, Klog, Kingsbury, Bush, and Kingsbury. Ray, then Matt. So I guess you could say rightfully so that the top 8 are going to be up front like they should be. Not really sure why the service did that, but luckily we can fix it.
I think we were supposed to be inverting top 8 for the feature. I think maybe we just made a mistake and put it into the heat by accident. Of course, we are human here. We make a couple mistakes, but we all learn from it. And, hopefully, we can organize an invert for that feature race.
It is the nature of NASA to sometimes have errors, and when I mean sometimes, I mean consistently. But it's all in good fun.
Okay.
Well, you're in good company joining the Nitro Circus Twitch channel there. In fact, I'm going to just go ahead and take all the blame for any issues that go on here, even though we didn't set up the race. It's just the curse of being on Nitro Twitch is something's going to go wrong.
See, Nitro and NASA was a good partnership because we both kind of fall apart. It's okay. It's okay. It's like that old car that you want to really put together all the time and it just keeps falling apart.
I guess
it's really good when it works.
I guess we can call this, it's not Murphy's Law, it's Charley's Law.
Especially with a guy named Charlie Daniels, okay?
Yeah.
He told me that, and I didn't believe him at first.
He made me show my birth certificate, so...
Yes, I needed his social to plug it in.
It's useful sometimes.
Don't ignore all the credit card applications that get shipped to you, okay? I'm trying to improve the show. Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, take one for the team here, Charlie.
I'm easy going. Sounds good to me.
So the black flags, I think, are going to be cleared here, obviously, because the service thinks that the 8th place car is cutting all the way to the front. So the Porsche safety car way out front. So realistically, Nicholas Laubisch is the safety car. And I'm really nervous. I don't know what to expect in this first sprint race. And it's different for me because the last time that I was around these GT cars, I was racing. So I've never actually seen how this series goes when you're not driving.
I'll tell you, if as much of a show that they put on in the car, they just basically double it outside. As you see them coming down that straightaway on that what do you call it? On the runway, they're going to be coming towards turn 16, Sunset Bend. Pace car's way ahead, but we're just going to ignore that. As you see them passing all of the haulers there. The fans giving them a wave. Probably Dale Jr. and Steve. We got 25 GT3s getting ready to go racing here.
Down the Ullman Straight and into Sunset Bend to begin a new era for North American simulated auto racing and Nitro Circus. As Nicholas Laubisch and Michael Janney will lead us to the green flag, the first round of the Penguin RC Sports Car Challenge is green here in Sebring. Janney cuts down right behind Laubisch into turn number 1, still side by side from 4th on back. But Laubisch will lead us into the corner. Janney peeks his nose to the inside. Can't get it done. Side by side. Very nice through the field here, Mike. Exiting turn number 1.
And coming down that short chute into turn number 3. And into turn number 4 and 5. They're about to come under the bridge. I believe that is called Big Bend right there. As now you see Christian Laubisch got the advantage going towards the hairpin. Can Janney get the run down the straightaway? He's going to maybe hold on to a little bit of momentum. He might think better of it as he goes into the bend.
Does not try to take the fight to Laubisch in the 107, but the 113 of Janney, we know how quick he is. And Challenger, they are pulling away from Clog in the 199. Nice and calm throughout the field. Everyone was side by side, but everyone now single file.
And you can
through
see
turn
them coming
10,
through.
Turn 11, Collier corner, 12
yeah.
and 13, Tower corner.
Then you go to Bishop, turn 14, and then to Le Mans, 15 and 16. You see them coming off of the Tower corner, coming down this straightaway. Now they're about to get into what I like to call the airport section. The complexion of the track completely changes here, and just in terms of geography. I mean, track's basically flat all the way around, but you got a lot more asphalt runoff. As you see, they're using every inch of it right there.
As I'm a stickler for track limits, and I really hate it when people go wide, but it's funny because at that corner, that is track limits. No one listens to the paint line in turn 16.
And it's almost as if it doesn't exist, as now they come down the Ullman Straight into the Sunset Bend to complete lap 1. And, Janney looked outside, maybe trying to get the run. I don't know if that's
going to have that run. Final corner. Janney
goes to the outside
of Laubisch. Laubisch will lead the first lap. Janney's going to have the better run. They are equal on speed going into the first corner. Janney can't get it done. He knows that there's time to get this done. Quick update. Lambert is in the pit lane. Not really sure why. I'll try and catch that for the 46.
A little bit of dirt.
Janney clipped the dirt there. Challenger to the inside and a battle for second.
Oh, yep, there we go. We got the 2 Audis out front, 2 McLarens in 3rd and 4th. Oh, Challenger gets a little bit loose. We know he's getting used to that car. He's trying to figure out how it's cracking. Now he's going to come through the Big Bend. He's going to be able to get the slipstream of Laubisch.
As that was a textbook move by Challenger. Granted, Janney running off the road just a little bit kind of helped him there. And Laubisch certainly likes this. So Janney and Clog and Munoz in 5th. That is for Sequential Simsport, and I'm going to give a plug to my buddy Cody Erdman, his new team. Great to see that brand new team up front here in NASA Sim Racing.
Yeah, we love to see new teams. New blood is all we need. Cody Erdman, obviously not new blood, but
we start and talk about him, and he nudges Clog and spins the 199. Commentator's curse. I take complete blame for that one. And Clog, from 4th to last in the matter of 1 corner, it looked like Munoz blocked it up going into turn 10.
Yeah, Clog, we had some interesting things. Clog, I think he had some problems in last year's season opener. So yeah, I mean, maybe just doesn't like race number 1 for him.
As trying to take a look here, but I'm also focused on the leaders. It looks like Munoz way late on the brakes, didn't lock him up. The car just didn't stop, and it looked like it was a little net code. If we can get back to live pictures, Victor.
Yeah, side by side right now, going down the Ullman.
Side by side, down the Ullman straightaway towards the Sunset Bend, Mike. We'll see if Janny can take the fight back to Challoner.
I don't think so. I think Janny doesn't have that slipstream. Challoner's able to get it. He was sitting right behind Labush that whole time, but here comes Janny. He's going to make that same line work he did on the first lap.
That wider line through Sunset Bend. The top three, given Munoz crashing into Clog, has opened up Kingsbury, Ray Kingsbury that is, the inaugural champion, in 4th position, but he's a huge gap, if I'm looking at this timing right, about 4 seconds behind these top three. The sun peaks behind the clouds. It's going to get colder now.
107 made a mistake there. Can Challoner capitalize?
Really
right
late
on the bumper
brakes.
Going through turn 2.
Janny late on the brakes in the 113.
And now you see Labush able to get a little bit of an advantage here coming down this straightaway, though. That Audi is gonna... I mean, they're in the same car, different setup. We'll see if maybe they're running a different wing angle. Can Challoner make the move here? There he goes. He's moving to the inside into the hairpin.
Challoner was 4/10 up on Labush that last lap. He knows that he's faster. Dare I say it, Labush might be good at hot lapping like I was, because the race pace of the 107, granted we're only 3 laps in, but race pace isn't really there. Janny pressuring the 7 of Challoner, and once again, Kingsbury and Bush, that is the top 5, as they are 4 seconds and then 6 seconds behind the rest of the field, or the top 3, I should say.
Yeah, and we should say that just because we said we're 3 laps in, we're almost halfway through this race. It takes about 2 minutes to get around this track. It's a bit longer than everywhere else, as you see the 3 leaders kind of, doing a bit of dirt tracking. Challoner basically the only one to avoid it, and now as they come into turns 14, 15, and 16.
3 cars up front. Wider lines, Labush runs, then Challoner. We're going to have to see if the slipstream is as prevalent as we think it is here on the Ullman straightaway. We have 2 Audis and a McLaren up front. Janny's got the slipstream on Challoner. He's going to run that wider line, Mike, into the Sunset Bend, we think.
Yeah, I'd say so too. I don't know what Challoner's going to do. It looks like he's going to cut it pretty tight. Look at how wide he's going out there, almost taking a cone along with him. And there he goes. He's going to... It's really tight off of there. He's got to watch the grass there. Ooh, barely avoid the wall there. I think he's going to have to, maybe reevaluate that strategy.
2-minute .794 for Labush. 2-minute .811 for Challoner. Labush hit the dirt. It's dark again here in Sebring. Late on the brakes in turn 3 is Challoner, the champion, the only champion of the amateur category when it was its own class instead of a subclass, I could say.
Super interesting because, last season you could have argued that Challoner really didn't have much competition, but now he's having to really fight hard, especially new car, new rivals, and you see him now going into the hairpin, just trying his best to get around Labush and reassert his dominance.
As our group, as our audience has grown, as Charlie, got anything down in Twitch land while we got a moment?
Oh, the audience woke up, guys. We've got fans in chat rooting for Barry, rooting for Michael, a couple rooting for Michael. Or we got a Ricky Bobby shout out, of course, Shake and Bake, right?
I want to give a shout out to my boy. I want to give a shout out to the guy who said my name. That's my buddy Neil. Neil, we love you. You're my best bro, bud.
There we go. That's the Michael. There's got to be someone on track named Mike or Michael. Too,
well, we got Janny up there in 3rd right now, and he's trying his best to get around it, to get around those top 2. But it looks like he's just got to try a little bit harder here.
And then Chris Mendel Jr. with the Tier 1 sub at 4 months. Thank you so much for all the support. Everyone who's hitting follow it and subscribing, you guys are the best, and we really appreciate it.
And now we're looking back. That's the battle for... Where are we? I think that's the battle for 9th there. That's the 20. That's 8th.
Rouse and Fanning. That's for 9th. It looked like Fanning was in 8th, and he drove it off the track. He dropped back to the 8th position. I can't keep my eyes off this front battle, and I know we've got 20 other cars here, but the top 3 under a blanket as we just take about halfway to go here in the sprint race.
Yeah, now you see Challoner trying his best going into turn 3. I gotta point out real quick, this is probably my favorite section section of corners on this track. I'm not the biggest fan of Sebring. I'm not a fan of how flat it is. Well, in terms of geographically, I mean, if you want to talk bumps, I mean, some of those things are as high as Mount Everest, but it's just such a cool complex of corners because you kind of on and off. It's just great.
I'm keeping an eye on Clog here, Mike. Clog is back to 13th position. He just got by Kieran Forrest in turn 1 there on that last lap. He's got to tear through these last couple cars. He won't get it done to the top 3, I don't think, but what a drive. If he can get back to 8th, because I think, as we've discussed, they still invert that top 8, so that will put him on pole position if he can get up there.
You see, yeah, I mean, you know, Clog is so, I guess he's got some fire in his eyes right now. He's about 2 seconds back from Brian Stone, if the thing is correct. I'm thinking realistically, he might get up to the top 10. It'd be really impressive as a comeback drive, and that'd really set him up well for this final stage, 45 minutes.
It's Challoner stalking the 107 of Nicholas Laubish. The 2 Audis. As we focus on Busch and Erdman, as they are battling. This is for the 5th spot, so a couple of the AM category cars as the top 4 are pro. This is for the lead in AM. We get so crossed up with our overall lead here. We forget there's another class.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have we can't really distinguish between those guys on the scoreboard right now. We may work on that soon. Here we go. Now we're looking back at our lead battle. This is, you know, so intense right now. None of these guys are letting each other out of their sight. Oh, and look at that. Laubich got a little bit slow there. Here comes Challoner. He's going to shoot up the inside.
Couldn't get it done. Could not get it done. Laubish under pressure in the 107. Janney's there in the 113. These 3 on top of each other. You're not missing anything in the AM class. Erdman and Busch battling for that race lead. I'll keep an eye on that one when I get a moment. Challoner last lap.
Oh my God, look
nearly
at how close
hit.
That was. Who was that?
Looked like it was by Marwan Moftah in the 191.
Yeah, look at how, let's take a look. Oh my God. As you see, we're kind of flashing through things here. Now we're getting a full replay going into turn 1. That
Huge
tail just slipped
26.
out of the McLaren. That was a scary wreck right there. But what's even scarier is right here. Look at this.
Between, looked like that, I think was Steve Lane and Marwan Moftah it was.
That looks like that's going to be a retirement. It looks like
Battle for the AM class. Still getting a little bit hectic there. Busch and Erdman. We look at the overall lead. Laubish against Challoner against Janney. These 3 have been all over each other since the drop of the green flag. 3.5 minutes.
And we're seeing now as they come off onto the Omen straight. Maybe they've got 3 minutes to go. I think Challoner might have something up his sleeve here, as he's got to just wait a little bit longer. Maybe he wants to take that Janney line into the Sunset Bend. You see, I don't think even Janney's taking that line. Maybe he is. I think he is actually. Yes, a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Really cutting under. He's going to get that run. That's how he wants to get it. Before he wasn't exactly able to get it right. Now they're basically all even, about 4 or 5 car lengths in between them.
As I'm taking a look at the AM battle, Erdman, I think, spun. I'll take a look on my monitor here. Erdman was battling. He did. He spun in turn number 13, Tower Corner, it looks like, when he was trying to chase down David Busch. So Busch still holds that lead in AM, still over Erdman. It's a huge gap, if I'm looking at that correctly. 8 seconds for that race lead. Late on the brakes is Janney in the 113. Every time I say that, give the stream $1. I know I've said that about 5 times now, but he's so late on the brakes down to turn 7 into the hairpin. But it looks like the Audis have better traction off the corners.
Yeah, I think they do, and maybe that's why. Well, we know Christian's running the Audi because he's a developer on one of these cars, and he wants to figure out what exactly makes people tick about the Audi. So maybe that's what he's finding. The advantage is in that exit speed, that stability. I mean, we're just so interesting that we have all these different classes and all these cars. They're similar but not identical.
As Janney dropped the left sides off into the dirt. forgive my ignorance, and I should have known this, but I did not do my research. I believe we're coming to the white flag because when time expires, that makes it the white flag lap. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe you're right.
So we will see. We have about a minute left. We should be coming to the white flag. I'm so used to seeing sports cars and supercross in the real world, X amount of minutes plus one lap. I don't think that's available on the iRacing service. So we are learning together as Laubish still leads over Challoner. Challoner was about a tenth faster that last lap, and this lap as well. Final lap in the sprint race in Sebring.
Yeah, you see them coming out of turn 1 now. Ooh, Laubish a little bit into the dirt there. So is Jenny. Challoner staying consistent. He's going to just, I guess, try and back it up and get down one of Sebring's famous straightaways.
I want to update you really quickly on Josh Clogg. He is in the pit lane. He has crashed the 199 from 10th.
Oh, that's real tough for Josh. He was so strong, making a great comeback. But now we're watching this battle for the lead as they come into the hairpin. Challoner's going to keep it, keep right behind him, stay in the draft, make sure he can maybe make a run down straight. Look at Janny getting a little bit into grass there. I think it's going to be a battle between the two Audis now.
So Seth Rawls has got by. It looks like Erdman spun again, so take him out a second in AM. He's way down the order. We have to focus on this lead in the overall and the pro category.
Yeah, this is the battle for the overall win, basically, in this sprint race. You see Christian now coming through what I believe is called Tower. And now as they come down into Bishop, that little kink right there, that's Bishop now coming onto the airport section here into Lamar.
Late on the brakes.
Super late on the brakes there. And now he's just trying his best. They're going to abuse all the track limits here as they come down the Omen. Can Christian get the run going into Sunset?
Laubish had a great run off of Lamar corner. Challoner did it a little bit shallow. He's going to have one corner left. It's going to be Sunset Bend, and we've seen Sunset Bend contribute to great finishes. Granted, this is only the sprint race, but it's still bragging rights for the first race of the championship. Final corner. I don't think he's going to get it done. Nicholas Laubish will win the sprint race in Sebring and holding off Challoner and Janny, the defending champions. What a race, even if there was no passing for the top three.
Yeah.
As Ray comes home in fourth, and Christian Ost will pip David Bush for fifth.
Nope, Christian got him.
Christian got him. As Fanning gets by Rawls for 7th and 8th, Brokaw 9th, 10th Kingsbury, 11th Kieran Forrest, 12th Lane, 13th Mofta, 14th Erdman, 15th Schofield, 16th Zone, 17th is Christopher Hickman.
That was one hell of a show right there, guys.
And just got it.
Shout out to all the guys putting on a great show for our fans here.
Duplicate the length by 3 times, and that's what we're going to have in about 15 minutes as we get ready for warm-up.
You're exactly right, Josh, and I'll let you step away for just a little bit here. So we'll go ahead and make sure that we put the green flag out for the warm-up, as per usual, and see who we have here to talk to about that race, if we can find anybody to talk to here. Ignore Mr. ATV outside. I was gonna say, I guess that's the Charley rule again. I said we got people outside with their ATVs. That's okay. With that said, though, Nicholas Laubish, P1, impressive result for him. Fortunately, I don't see him in the Discord, and I don't see Christian Challoner in the Discord as well. So I believe we'll have to jump to Michael Janney if he's around, and I don't see him.
He's not either.
So,
all right. I mean,
next man up, that would be Ray Kingsbury. Ray's the guy who helps put this all on, so we'll bring him up and we'll talk to Ray. Ray Kingsbury, this is Victor Vallee up here in the ASN commentary cube. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Hey man, I know you weren't in that top 3 battle. They're not here, so you're the next man up. So tell us about your race and how it went. It seemed like it wasn't as eventful as the top 3, and it wasn't as eventful as the people behind you either.
Well, considering this car was trying to murder us about an hour ago, we finished without hitting anything.
Yeah, that's always
we
good.
were P15 in practice, so I think this was quite the improvement, Victor. I'm pretty happy with it.
I was gonna say, you absolutely found the pace, man. I don't know how you did it. Don't know where that pace came from, but you did it, and you're able to finish 4th. Obviously, that's great for you because that puts you right there in front of those guys with the invert. Say, could you tell us what happened with the invert anyways? Do you know exactly what was going on there? Is it going to be applied
I think
for
it's
the
broken.
feature?
It's broken for the feature.
Yeah, so we set the server up in advance, and when we set it up, there's an option to invert for the sprint race. But what we misread is that when you click that option, that actually inverts the qualifying. It inverts the grid for the sprint race, not the results of the sprint race. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes
sense. So we're going to
absolute
manually
sense.
invert it again here, and then next week we're not going to click that button.
So clicking buttons is always dangerous.
We'll click that button for the feature.
Yeah. And clicking
Anyway,
buttons
so
is always dangerous, and I know
it
somebody
was
who
Brandon's
does.
first time setting them up, and I remember the first time I set up a heat race session, I did the same thing. So, I guess I should have told them about that.
Yeah, it's like, as I just said, clicking buttons is dangerous, and I know somebody who does a lot of button clicking, and that's Charley, and I think he's got a little bit of an update with everybody over in the Twitch chat. How did they like that sprint race, man?
Oh man, chat came alive once the rubber hit the road, and lots of Janny fans. I think if you're out there supporting one of the drivers, get in chat and let them be known. We want to see all the support out there for all the drivers. We should offer, guys. What do you think about offering some kind of extra bonus for the driver who has the biggest fan support during the season? It's something like that, like a Nitro T-shirt and hat for the driver who brings the biggest crowd to cheer for him.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see that. I the more people that come watch this on Nitro Circus, I think we just need to give them like a little goodie bag of Nitro stuff and say, hey, thanks for bringing out all your friends, all your family, whoever you want. Bring your dog. Put your dog on Twitch. I mean, whoever wants to watch, if whoever puts the most people on Nitro Circus Twitch, they should get some kind of reward for that for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think we'll figure something out like that maybe for one of the nights during these series. So yeah, but other than that, chat is they were excited about the race. I think I also loved it too. You guys are really bringing it to the next level here, so we're stoked.
Yeah, absolutely, and I hope everybody's enjoying the camera angles. Been working hard on those. Working with the controller now too, so got some pretty cool little zoom pans and stuff going on that I've been working on. Trying to get up to the level of iRacing themselves. I know these guys do it professionally for the pro races and stuff, so I'm like, you know what? I can do it too. I'm gonna make it worth my while, and I'm gonna try hard and make this look really good. And I hope everybody enjoys the graphics and everything that I've put the time and effort into, and at the end of the day, it's all for the fans.
Absolutely. And
yeah, we love you guys.
Chat's pointing out this is the first broadcast of this season, so naturally there's going to be a little bit of cobwebs to shake off, but I feel like all in all, can't complain about how well it's going, and I'm having a great time myself.
Absolutely, and if you're having a good time, I know Travis Brown likes to put a 69 in chat, but let's do a big old Nitro in chat if you're having a good time tonight.
Let's see it out there, chat. If you're a sub, use that. Let's see that you got this in chat. Yes.
So I don't know if we have Mike back yet or not. I know he said
I'm back. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, awesome. Mike, I know you you've been keeping an eye on the weather here, and I have it up on the ticker as well. So it looks like it's cooling down a little bit. The track temp is cooling down a lot, actually. We're down to 84 degrees track temp here, Mike.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. I mean, we all practiced on like hot
110
on a
degrees.
hot track.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe we'll see some new faces here.
New faces.
Christian Challenger at the top of the board right now. I mean, on warm up.
Yeah, maybe we'll see some more guys boogie on down and get up there in that top 3 battle like we saw in the sprint. So I think it's the best time for this track to cool down too, because this is going to mean the racing's going to get more fun. There's more grip out there for these guys to slide these cars around with, and hopefully we see another 3-car battle throughout this entire race, if not a 4 or 5-car battle. And hopefully for everybody, they have a race like Ray and don't hit anything. That's the one thing that nobody wants to do, hit things. I'm telling you right now, the fact that Ray was able to go through the race without hitting anything, I can't do that. And these guys are able to do that almost every race, so I don't know. Mike, what do you think?
Well, it just shows why we're up here in the booth and why they're on the track.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right in that. Only seven, now 8 cars taking time so far. Challenger the fastest with a 2-minute 5:41. That's still pretty far off his qualifying pace. But with that said, however, that's actually faster than his time in practice number 1, which was a 2-minute 9:53. He leads right now, but Josh Clogg's second, 2-minute 2:122. I think he's out there on track right now. There he is. He's taking his time out there. Currently second on the board. Got quite a few guys coming out now to put down some time. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think at this point we're not really seeing guys go out to put lap times down. They just want to get their setups finalized. They got a decent idea of how they're going to run from the sprint. But this will give you the last couple seconds, maybe fine tune. If you don't like something, now is the last chance to change it before you hit the racetrack.
That's exactly right. And they're going to have higher fuel load, so you won't see as quick as times for the feature here. I don't believe we'll see these guys pushing it quite as hard. At least not until the end of the race, where everybody's on low fuel and a little bit older tires. So it's actually going to be a lot more fun at the end of the race, because you'll see guys sliding around a lot more. A lot less grip to be had. So be a good old-fashioned slugfest at the end of it. And we're looking currently at Daniel Munoz out there in the 07 for Sequential Simsport. I think that is the academy team he is with, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me if I'm wrong here, Josh, if you're around. And I know his teammate Cody Irvine is also on that team with him. And
Munoz and Erdman on the senior team.
Okay, senior team is for them, and then we have the academy team the other way around. Gotcha. Oh, Michael Janney's at the top of the charts there. With about 20
just
seconds
barely
left.
over Challenger there. We have 20 seconds left. I don't think Challenger's going to be able to get that top spot back.
I don't think so. I don't even know if he's on track. It looks like he is not on track. Looks like he's in pit road. So is Josh Clogg. Taylor Carroll out there. He had that really scary rejoin there after hitting the tire barriers. Luckily didn't involve anybody else in that accident, but he was able to continue on. And I think that is the... can't remember what team he's running for. I know it's a Spark related team. I just can't remember which one. I think it is MPR with Spark, I believe is the team name. But we're going to go ahead and turn this one back over to Josh Mertz. And Mike, you're still here, so take it away, guys.
As we get ready and gritting for round 1 of the Penguin RC Sports Car Challenge presented by Nitro Circus. As thank you all for joining us here on Nitro Circus Twitch channel powered by the Automotive Sports Network. If I could plug a couple sponsors that we have, I want to make a big shout out to SimRacer Coin, big partner with North American Simulated Auto Racing, cryptocurrency made by sim racers for sim racers. You can check out their mission as our racers race to own the winner's coin tonight, simracercoin.org. Big partner for the sanctioning body, and for sure a part of our series. As Victor Vallee, Mike Berry, Josh Mertz, Charley Daniels down somewhere in Twitch land, and Nicholas Laubish and Michael Janney technically on the front row. No, it's Challoner, sorry, on the front row of the grid. But I think the inversion is going to change it up. So we'll see when they roll. And we begin to roll here in Sebring. And that's exactly what's happening. So they are inverting the top 8. So with that being said, we're going to be looking at Rawls and Fanning, Bush and Ost, Kingsbury, Janney, Challoner, Laubish, the first 4 rows, Brokaw and Kingsbury, 9th and 10th, for the first half of the field.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting here. I mean, I know Christian last year was talking a lot. He really was dying for an invert. Obviously, he was kind of running away with races last year. He's going to get it, and let's see if he can, maybe put, walk the walk when he's been talking to talk about it.
There's a couple of the guys who had issues in the sprint race, obviously back on track. Although there's no Jason Hook, no Mario Bonfante Jr. Lambert is in 23rd, so we only have 23 cars here on track, because it doesn't look like Hook or Bonfante Jr. participated in the sprint race. So Seth Rawls, Kevin Fanning on the front row of the grid, David Bush, and Christian Ost. So this is interesting here. 3 AM class cars on the first 3 spots of the grid. Then there's 3 pro cars. Actually, then there's 5 pro cars. So I don't know if I would be worried if I was the AM cars to fight these pro cars or just have my own little race with the 2 other cars.
I feel like you got a bunch of racers here. You're going to want to win the overall. I mean, yeah, you can win your class, but give a shot to fight for the overall. Why wouldn't you try it at least?
As Charley, before we begin and unleash these cars, you got an update for us?
We've got Cubecasts with the 7 bits. Cubecasts, I believe, is
That is Chad Irvine.
Our good friend
Irvine,
Chad.
right.
How you doing, Chad? I miss
throwing
you.
bits around in chat, cheering for Challoner. So thanks for the bits and the support, and more rooting for drivers in chat, guys. Who's gonna win this one? Everyone's talking about Nitro Circus emotes right now. We have a new emote we want to get in the mix, but we're debating which one we should replace it with. So that's really what everyone's focused on right now. Important stuff in Twitch land.
As we get ready to begin the feature race here in Sebring, Florida, for round 1 of the Penguin RC Sports Car Challenge, presented by Nitro Circus and powered by the Automotive Sports Network. Like I said, obnoxiously long series title, but we're all friends here. We have to make
we gotta make an acronym for it or something.
Yeah, I'll get to that eventually. We have to mention all of our partners, like we mentioned. It's Josh Mertz, Mike Berry, Victor Vallee in the production truck. And it's 45 minutes, 23 cars, 3.7 miles, and 17 turns for the Livewire Simsports Grand Prix here in Sebring.
And
We had a blast through the sprint race. You just got to triple the race length, and that's what we're going to get for the feature. Seth Rawls, Kevin Fanning on the front row of the grid. David Bush, Christian Ost, Ray Kingsbury, Janney, Challoner, Laubish. The inverted order from the sprint race. Safety car to pit lane as we get ready for the green flag in Sebring.
And you see that Mercedes right there of Seth Rawls getting a very good start now as they go into turn 1. 2 Ferraris back there and a Lamborghini. I believe that's David Bush and Kevin Fanning. Christian Ost not too far behind. You can see all of our pro guys stuck in that wad of 5Ms, our top 3 there from last race.
Side by side with Bush in the 32 and the 157. He is trying to squeak his way through these amateur cars. He is now in 3rd overall and leading pro. We have to pay attention to Challoner and Laubish. They are going to be battling hard. Kingsbury blocks Laubish going down to turn 7. Laubish to the inside on the 107. We know the German's fast.
Yeah, and you can see right now, oh, someone goes off. I believe that's that new guy. That's David Bush there. Yeah, he went a little bit wide there. That's going to allow some of our pro guys to get through. And you see there, Christian Challenger with the advantage over Laubish. He was able to get through that traffic a little bit better. Actually started ahead of him now that I think about it. Now he's got 3 cars to work towards in order to get that overall lead.
So now Busch and Kingsbury, they've all been dispatched as the pro cars are now bearing down on Kevin Fanning and Seth Rawls in the Mercedes the Ferrari and the Mercedes. If you only told me that, I would think it was like Formula One, as Trevor Teal's making fun of you on the stream chat, Mike Perry. So you should learn the drivers' names. And yes, I just roasted you. In true Nitro Circus fashion. I have to admit, I don't know how long that this battle is going to be going on with Fanning and Rawls, but it's interesting to see that these pro guys slowly gaining.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a really interesting thing here. I mean, there's that pro guy right behind them. I believe that's
Challenger to the inside of Ost. I hate to cut you off, battling side by side. This is for the lead in pro. Challenger, we know how fast he is. Laubish trying to peek his nose in, can't get it done. Rawls leads at the end of the first lap ahead of Fanning, and Challenger moves into third overall here in the Audi.
Yeah, Challenger just trying to build as much of a buffer between him and that 107 of Laubish. Both of those guys basically on equal footing, so every single foot, inch, half inch matters here.
1 second is the gap from Rawls to Fanning. Impressive to see those two out front, but Challenger quickly bearing down on those 2 AM-class cars as we exit turn 6 down to turn 7, the hairpin.
And now as they come through Big Bend towards that hairpin, you can see Challenger right on that rear bumper of Kevin Fanning. Ooh, diving a little bit deeper in. Looks like Fanning's gonna be able to get that run out. He wants to hold on. He's about 6. He's a little bit farther behind Rawls. Rawls trying to get a little bit of a lead going. Now the order's starting to swip up a little bit. I think Rawls having some little connection problems here.
Ost defending on Laubish. So the Ferrari versus the Audi. Fanning, as Rawls having connection issues there in the 125. The 68 of Fanning here in second. Clips the curb. Challenger, much better run. Through Tower Corner, turn 13. Down the straightaway to Bishop Corner, turn 14. And back onto the runways and the airport section.
Yeah, and coming into
I'd be worried if I was Seth Rawls here, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, if the connection problems aren't going to do him in, he's got more than 3, but a bunch of angry cars coming at him as he comes down the Omen. He's got a little bit of a gap now, but that slipstring's going to make all the difference. Now, who's he going to provide it to? There we go, he blinks away again. I don't know who's getting it right now. Challenger with a run on the inside, though.
Huge run off of Lamar Corner down the Ullman straightaway, side by side, deep on the brakes is car number 7, the Briton, ahead of Kevin Fanning. And Ost says, thank you, I'm going to take this spot, and Fanning lets them both through. As what has happened to Laubish here, guys? He dropped way back. He got a slow down. He got a slow down. I think in turn 15, he cut the corner too far. He had to go to the inside. So the favorite from the sprint race, deep in the pack now.
Yeah, we're going to have to see now. I mean, basically, Challenger is the only guy in the top 3 who's managed to make his way up. It looks like Michael Janney's had similar misfortune. He's stuck behind Nicholas Laubish. They're both at 8th and 9th respectively, so, actually net losing spots here on that restart.
So through Big Ben, Challenger peeks to the outside of Rawls here in the 125 in the 7. Deep on the brakes. It's so hard to get it right when you're on the outside. Position swapped. Challenger to the lead, and now Ost trying to stay on the tire tracks of that Audi.
And now Challenger in the lead. That's a familiar sight for anybody who's been following us since last season. He dominated us. He had I think a 15-race win streak. Only was broken because of a small contact issue at Circuit of the Americas in the sprint race. Then he missed a race. I think he won a total of 17 races last season. Such an impressive driver, and domination is his name.
As I'm looking at this really quickly here, 16 races for Christian Challenger that he won. That's incredible. 16 out of 20. Actually, no, it was 17 out of 20.
Yeah, he only lost 1 race in terms of actually on track, and that's just because he had some contact with, I believe, was it Steve Wayne and Peter Houston he had the problem with? I can't 100% remember, but it was, one of the
I was not around for that one.
I know you weren't around. I'm hoping that our producer up here can help me draw this blank, but it looks like I'm getting confirmed here. Yeah, it is that.
Oss deep on the brakes. I'm focused on him. I know we're looking at Busch there in the Lamborghini, but Ost was very deep in Sunset Bend, and he's lost a lot of time to Rawls. If we look at the gap, Challenger's already pulled out a second ahead of Seth Rawls in the 125 after one lap. After a half a lap.
Yeah, shout out to Seth Rawls real quick. He was the slowest of the guys who got in the invert, but not by much, honestly, even. He's really been able to hold his own as an AM guy, basically competing with all the pro guys. I know Christian obviously works for iRacing. He was saying that the Mercedes is a lot more, I guess, drivable this season, ever since they made some changes to how the car worked. I mean, he's always said that it was pace there, just a lot of people had trouble finding it, and I think we're seeing right now just the benefits of his BOPing.
But you know what's making this interesting? Challenger's pulling out and away. Rawls is leading the train of cars. Ost, Fanning, Kingsbury, Busch, Laubish in 7th.
I see Laubish right there making a move on David Busch there. I saw that right.
The inside takes the spot. Can we look up front here? Ost versus Rawls. Ost took to the inside in, that was turn number 10. Now they're in Collier Corner, down to 12 and 13 Tower Corner. And Ost knows he has to get by Rawls if he wants to take the fight to Challenger.
I see him now. Oh, someone was in the grass. I don't think that's a different camera angle, though. I'm looking now. It's just Christian Ost. You can see that right now. He's trying his best to get around Seth Rawls. He's in that Ferrari. That Ferrari is historically the fastest car on the straightaway, maybe second only to the Ford GT. Is he going to be able to do anything coming down the Oldman into the Sunset Bend? Here he goes.
Looks like there's almost some damage to the left rear of that car. I'm flipping between his car and Kevin Fanning's. There is rear end damage, I believe, on both sides of Ost's car, unless I'm completely seeing things.
I'm not seeing anything. It might be the slightest bit of damage, so hopefully not affecting him too bad if he has. Now we're getting a zoom in here.
It's just the paint scheme differences. I'm crazy. Ignore me.
Yeah.
I'm blaming Charley. Speaking of Charley, what's Twitchland doing?
They all got real quiet once the action started for this race, guys. I think everyone's just clinching into their chairs trying to figure out what's going to happen here. Real quick, though, now since you cut to me, I just want to give a plug out for the rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday streams. We've got races, and I'm sure you guys will cover this, but I just want to make sure that, well, we got people in chat. We've got iRacing action tomorrow and Wednesday as well, so make sure you tune in both nights for that. Best place to find out details about each season and series is in the Discords, which I'll throw a link up in chat right now.
As the Sim Racer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge presented by Nitro Circus, the crown jewel of NASA Sim Racing on Wednesday, you'll join myself and Cody Erdman for that race as we open the season. I should know this already, but I think we're in Brands Hatch on Wednesday for the race there in Britain. So we're going to kick off the 23rd season now. I can't remember of that series. 9 o'clock, I think, Eastern time. I could be wrong on that, but we'll keep you updated. And thank you, Charley, for that update. As Challenger is pulling away here, Mike, 2:545, and 5 seconds ahead of Rawls. But we haven't paid attention during these updates. Nicholas Laubish has made his way to 4th. He's got to get by Ost and Rawls really strong performance here.
Yeah, great performance by Rawls. And now you're seeing there's Christian Ost to the inside. He's going to actually get that position. Let's see. Yeah, Genuine right there by Laubish. He's going to try his best. You see Jenny, obviously the guy we've seen use that line the most. He's not too far behind. Looks like Seth Rawls has disappeared, but just in time for Laubish to get right around him as they go into turn 1. Jenny not too far behind.
So Rawls falling back into the clutches of Janney and potentially into Fanning. We'll keep an eye on that AM lead throughout the race. As it's starting, the sun is starting to set here in Sebring. Something we don't notice in the rallycross races, but of course with GT cars, you have headlights, you can race in the dark, and this is a different element. maybe we'll see some more darkness through this event. Laubish outside in turn 7.
Oh, he's not going to get it, though. It looks like he's going to have to...
Pinched on the
he's
curve.
Holding on to
it
it.
Done.
He's got a run now, coming off of the hairpin, coming into Fangio now.
Inside.
Right on that bumper.
Coming down to turn 10 on the outside now for the corner on the entry. So much respect between these two drivers, and Laubish will take the spot, move him to second, and now it's 5.7 seconds from Challenger to Laubish.
He's looking for the send there again. Wasn't exactly quite able to get it. Christian Oss gonna have to just, wait a little bit as they come through. Now as they're taking that look into Bishop Corner and into the airplane section.
And Challenger, 6.1. He is pulling on Laubish, but I don't know too much of this young German. But what I do know from this last 20 minutes of action that I've been watching is that he's fast. So certainly don't count him out to catch Christian Challenger. Gap is 5.9, so we'll see when the lap times update here.
Just looking at a little bit of things about Nicholas Laubish. Quite a decorated driver, competitive in a lot of the top splits of endurance events such as Daytona, Le Mans, and Nürburgring. Just a very decorated GT driver and a welcome addition to the series.
We're right on board Christian Oss there in the 157. Gianni! So close to Austin, the Ferrari. McLaren versus Ferrari. That's a headline you'll see from F1 20 years ago as they nearly came together.
You can see that McLaren now, I think he's not exactly able to get the best runs, and that's kind of its weakness. McLaren's one of the strongest in the corners, but maybe not the best on the straights, and that's exactly where the Ferrari shines. Just like Enzo Ferrari said, it's like, aerodynamics for people who can't build good engines. That Ferrari obviously has a great engine.
The gap is still staying around 6 seconds for Challenger and Laubish, so I don't know. They're equal on pace, while Challenger was up by 0.2 that last lap over Laubish. Ost was a second off of Laubish that last lap. He's focused on Gianni. This is for the podium here in Sebring.
I just want to say real quick, do not count Laubish out. I'm looking at it right now. That gap is shrinking over the last lap. He's taking about 3 tenths off.
Outside,
here comes Gianni to the outside of Bishop.
Can he get it done to turn 15? He can. What a move from the defending champion.
That's an impressive showcase here as they come through a mountain corner. Can Ost get him back? Coming down the Omen straight, using up as much of that rumble strip as possible.
As I was roasting both our defending champions, as neither of them picked car number 1 for this season. When I always won my championships in Rallycross, I always ran car number 1 as a psychological advantage. But dare I say it, you see the name Michael Gianni, you don't need to see number 1 next to his name. You know that he is capable. Laubish was up by 1/10 over Challenger. It's not much. The gap is 5.7 seconds. We'll keep an eye on those two. Gianni starting to pull away from Ost. He was 0.6 up that last lap that he passed him. And look, Seth Rawls is at the same pace as Michael Gianni. As Busch and Fanning, this is for second in AM. 3 cars, Matt Kingsbury sneaking into the picture, along with Fanning and Busch. This is for the podium in the AM category. Seth Rawls loves this, though. He's out and away from those guys.
Yeah, and there's controversial Matt Kingsbury. He got suspended last season for some aggressive driving. He's back now and with a vengeance. You see him right now in 8th, about to take 7th away from Fanning. I mean, just trying to prove why he belongs in this series when you could argue he didn't last season.
That's Matt Kingsbury, one of the most aggressive drivers that I have come across on the service, or potentially in my 14 years of sim racing. And that's saying something because I'm super aggressive as well.
And there you go. You can see now our top 3 have kind of shaken out. Not quite exactly how they were from the sprint race, but same names, same faces, different places.
I wasn't sure if our director was muted on our stream. I think he was. Victor Vallee pointed out to us, He pointed out, Mike, that Laubish was a 10th up that last lap. If we look at timing and scoring, Laubish is only 5.4 away, 5.35. He is gaining huge amounts of time now that he doesn't have traffic near him.
I think he's definitely built his car to benefit him in the outside of traffic. I think he saw just how fast he was in practice. Maybe took some aero off. He wants to make that car just work really well in clean air. He struggled a little bit.
2 minute 0.417 for Christian Challoner. 1 minute 59.974 for Laubish. The German is coming quickly. Half a second out of that last lap. There's still half an hour left. I keep thinking there's only 1 lap to go. These guys are racing like there's 1 lap to go, but we still have half an hour left.
Yeah, I mean, I think eventually we are going to see that battle between Challoner and Laubish. I don't know if Janny's going to be able to catch him. He's kind of fighting real hard with Austin Rawls. But I guess, I mean, a 3rd place would not be a bad way to start off the season for your defending champion.
Really quickly, and I know you're muted, Victor, give us the weather graphic really quickly. I want to see what it is here. 72 degrees, Mike. Remember, it was 110 at the beginning of the night.
Yeah, I mean, we checked it back in warm-up. It was at 84. It's dropping just pretty significantly. Maybe by the end we'll start seeing that track temp in the 70s. And then when you know that, we're going to see a whole other bunch of guys coming out. And I mean, guys have built their setups just so differently. I mean, it's obviously an open setup series. You know, you build the car how you want it to and how you think the track is going to go. So we'll see who the comers and the goers are here.
And of course, my least favorite thing is breaking the 4th wall, even though we're sim racing. But I think the track evolution or the time of day evolution, I think it's not scaled. It's at the regular time, so we might be seeing potential darkness.
Track there. If we can go back and take a look at that, that's the Cody Erdman there.
Erdman all
way
over the
off
place.
track there, but he's there to kind of gather it up again. Yeah, just a really kind of run, sort of like the Kyle Larson line, but we are not on an oval here, Cody. You might want to consider, sticking to the racing line. As here you see one of his other, I think a teammate of his. Oh, he got punted!
Looks like it's Brokaw and Munoz.
Yeah, Munoz, he just kind of gave him a little bit of a tap there going into the sunset bend. Really unfortunate for Tim Brokaw, but he only lost 1 position, so I guess you could consider yourself happy about that.
Let me give you another update really quickly as we take a look. It looks like Munoz did the same thing.
Look at Eric, God.
Same thing he did to Clog in the sprint race. Really quickly here, gents. Laubish was half a second up on Challoner last lap again. I think we're going to get down to a battle between these two, and I don't think Laubish is going to give this win to Challoner.
I don't think so either. Challoner is just so... I mean, Challoner's strong, but Laubish just might be a little bit stronger, which is something we weren't saying at all last season. I mean, I'm so curious to see what's going to happen here.
David Bush, 2 minute 1.834. He was 4/10 up on Seth Rawls. That is the battle for the AM class. As remember, here in the Penguin RC Sports Car Challenge, there is technically 1 class on track, but there's a subclass of the amateur drivers that are under a 2500 I rating. So these two are in their own race and battling for their own championship. And that gap, half a second between these two. Mercedes versus Lamborghini.
Yeah. Mercedes and Lamborghini, not exactly what you'd think of when you think famous racing rivalries, but we got guys spinning in the back. I don't know who that was.
Matt Kingsbury.
Look at this, Matt Kingsbury. That Mr. Controversy right there, dropping back a little bit, just like he's gonna lose. Let's see what happened there.
Just lost it. Lost the rear.
Oh, just had that famous McLaren snap. We'll call it the snap oversteer. Just that car, we like to say it likes to kill you at all times. He did a really great job of gathering that back up, keeping it off of the racing line, not causing another problem. Oh, and as I say that, he did just punch. Is that the 888 of Cody Erdman?
As really quick update on the race leader, you notice the gap has increased. Laubish slid in Sunset Bend. He saved it, but he was a second slower than Challoner that last lap.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's getting him too much. I mean, his tires might be a little bit warm, and he's still closing in a little bit. He just took another 10th off of just from looking at the scoreboard. I don't know, Challenger definitely not the apex predator here right now.
Rouse, Bush to the inside of Rouse, battling for the race lead in GT-AM, side by side in turn 7.
Rouse not giving up at all.
Plenty of respect given between Rouse and Bush. Bush puts it on the dirt. He gave him plenty of room. He gave Rouse, that is, plenty. I am astounded at that. I would have just put him to the grass, but of course that's me. Turn 10.
Josh, we know you're not exactly the cleanest driver here.
Yeah, just ask Victor. I don't know, Victor, you want to come out of your mute and agree there? Yeah.
I really don't think I need to come out of my mute to say anything there, Josh, but I will, just to agree.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. As halfway through the feature race here in the Penguin RC Sports Car Challenge, presented by Nitro Circus, thank you for joining us here. 23 minutes left to go in the feature race here at the Sebring International Raceway, the Livewire Simsports Grand Prix of Sebring. Mike Berry, Josh Mertz, Victor Vallee, Charley Daniels, and it has been an incredible race so far here in Florida. We pay attention to our leader really quickly here, Christian Challenger, the defending champion, co-champion, I guess you could say, because there were 2 classes last season. He was the amateur champion, even though he isn't an amateur at all. 2 minute .207. Laubisch 3/10 up. Nicholas Laubisch, the German, 3/10 up on Challenger. And we've been watching all evening long, trying to see if Laubisch can take the fight to Challenger. He got stuck in traffic when Challenger cleared the traffic after the invert, but he just can't get it done.
Yeah, it's just going to be kind of unfortunate for these guys. For Laubisch, I mean, hopefully he can catch him. He's closing in pretty quickly, but I think that little mistake there a while ago cost him a second. He'd be down to about almost under 4 seconds. But, I mean, he's just got so much work to do. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch him, especially because he's not exactly, racing at the exact lap times he was before.
So Bush battling with Rawls still. They were side by side earlier on. Clog has caught them both, and Clog's a pro driver, so we know that the AM cars aren't necessarily worried about him. So it's going to be interesting to see what will happen, if Clog will be nice to these guys or if he wants to dispatch them to try and catch Ost here in the 157.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting. I keep saying stuff is going to be super interesting. I guess that you can call that my motto. This series is the series of super interesting. We have so much action going on everywhere. And now you see Josh Clog trying his best. I think he wants to get around these guys, maybe, because if Christian Ost or Michael Janney or maybe even Laubisch or Challenger makes a mistake, he can capitalize from that. That's every position for those guys is a point for him.
Last lap time for Challenger, 2 minute .295.
And
lap
there goes Bush to the inside.
Laubisch was a 2 minute .051. Bush to the inside. I'm trying to catch it here on my own monitor. Side by side, battling for the race lead in the AM subclass.
Oh, Rawls got a little bit loose there. I think he might be able to hold on to it. He's got that run off the outside.
Huge run
even
to the inside, going into turn number 1. Can he take the fight to both of them? Three wide into the corner as Clog tries to take it. He gets by Rouse. He does not clear him, though. Rouse had the better run off the corner. And Bush in the Lamborghini contact between them.
Oh, net code. Oh, barely around. Oh, you can see just didn't even look like there would have been contact there. There was. Rawls is going to go way ahead. Clog is going to go ahead, too. And we have a very unhappy Mr. Bush the third there.
And that's the nature of multi-class racing. And especially when they're in the same class, it's the same performance of car. It's not like prototype versus a GT car. And I think Clog just got a little bit,
is the better word here, Josh.
A little bit anxious there, trying to get by, and he wanted to force the issue, but I could be wrong there.
Looking back at the scoreboard right now, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing much lap traffic as of now. We have David Schofield and Marwell Mofta. They're about 50. They're within the 50 seconds. Back at Challenger, but it doesn't seem like they're actually going to be coming up in terms of lap traffic unless something bad happens.
So Kevin Fanning ran a 2-minute 2.109. He is gaining on Seth Rawls in the 125. I don't think this battle for the AM class is over. And I really don't want to say that the battle for the Pro class is over, because in NASA Sim Racing, it's never over until it's over. And Laubish pushing so hard to try and get this position from Challoner. One minute.
So I want to point out real quick, we did have a retirement.
6-6.
I want to point out, we had a retirement of Peter Houston. I just saw him in our Discord chat. He was very frustrated. Let's see what happened. Oh, I'm looking at it right now. Lap 8. He kind of just got turned around and going into turn 3. Yeah, and you're seeing it right now on the screen. You'll see he was battling hard with, I believe that was.
Looks like Steve Lane.
Yeah, Steve Lane there. One of the Matco Tools Ferraris. I'm so used to saying Fords for those. And just look at him. He's just so unfortunate. I mean, our only BMW repping the. I can't remember what that.
It's getting spicy here for the top 5. I hate to cut you off, Mike. Clog is passing Seth Rawls and Kingsbury all over the back of the 199. Daniel Munoz into the picture as well in the 07. And here's Fanning in the 68.
Yeah, don't forget Kingsbury and Josh Clog. They were teammates before. You know, very back last season with Spark LLM. I don't think they're teammates anymore now, but like, you know, but hey, there's still a little bit of respect for each other, and they're both super fast. You can
find a way past, flashing the lights. Beautiful onboard camera work from Victor Vallee.
Oh, right up on that bumper.
As Clog's trying to find a way past this Mercedes.
Trying to get that bumper in. Maybe not. He does not want to resort to violence here.
Over the curb.
Rawls going to try and hold on to it. Yeah, Rawls going to try and hold on to it, I think. There he goes through Lamar, on to the straightaway. And get the run significantly. Here comes Ray Kingsbury to the inside 3 wide. There we go.
Down the Ullman straightaway. Dare I say it? Munoz might try and make it 4 wide. He thinks better of it. 3 wide.
I don't
Kingsbury,
think he can
Clog, and Rawls into the final corner. Who's going to budge it? Sunset Bend, Clog! Contact nearly between the sliding.
No! Oh, right in the wall he goes. Just tried too hard. Lost the grip. We talked about the McLaren and its grip problems. But that battle is far from done, as here comes Seth Rawls trying to get that position he lost.
Inside of Kingsbury, can't get it done. Munoz in the 07, sneaking into the picture, trying to take the fight to Seth Rawls. And Rawls needs to keep Munoz behind him, because Fanning and guess who else? David Bush sneaking into the picture.
Oh, look at them all going dirt track in there. Both these cars are rear-wheel drive. I don't know what they're thinking.
Update on the top 2, 5/10 up.
There's Munoz to the outside.
Laubish was half a second up on Challoner last lap here, boys.
Oh, and there we can see there's the 68 of Kevin Fanning. He's back with a vengeance. So is Bush. I mean, we have a really interesting battle for the AM class and the pros. I mean,
Munoz peeks to the inside on Kingsbury. He does it again.
Oh,
and Kingsbury gets hit by Munoz, and the Panamanian driver
cursed. I tell you. I think a lot of these guys are maybe regretting their choice of choosing that McLaren. Maybe they didn't think it was that aggressive.
As Rawls gets by Munoz. And the driver from Panama, it's all down to netcode, unfortunately. Kingsbury in Connecticut, Munoz in Panama, and they come together. As we get ready for the last 14 or so minutes, I want one more update from Charley down in Twitch land.
Yo, yeah, it's we got some good stuff going on up here. Great driving, awesome race, says DGRX Motorsports. And hey guys, how about this? How do you make 30 viewers with ADHD shut up? Put some motorsports on. So there we go.
Oh.
That's what's happened in chat over the last 30 minutes.
The Circus definitely living up to its name. We love all the interaction we're getting from you guys. You guys are the reason we get to do all this stuff. And obviously thank you to Nitro Circus for allowing us to, show our great series off to you guys.
As Taylor Carroll sneaking into the picture for the AM class. So is Brian Sohn, a couple names that we haven't seen all day long. Tim Brokofter sliding into Sunset Bend, and Sohn's around in turn 5. As Ray
McLaren curse strikes again.
As he clipped the curb and
oh, it's a Ferrari. Oh.
Clipped the curb, clipped the dirt. Seth Rawls is holding on to this AM lead ahead of Fanning and Busch. The gap is 4.5 seconds. They ran the identical lap time last lap, 2:2:08 for Challoner and Laubish.
I don't think Laubish is going to be able to get the advantage or maybe catch up to Challoner, barring a serious mistake by Challoner to cost him probably 3 or so seconds. Challoner currently cruising to a pretty, dominant win, you could say. But he has not been the fastest car in the slightest as you see him coming through to Sunset Bend now.
We'll see when this lap time refreshes. 2:03 for Rawls, 3:13, 6:09 for Fanning. So Rawls is 0.3 up there. And we take a look. Kristen Challoner, 2:158, 2:065, so it was a 10th up. But we're getting down to the point where a 10th is not going to solve this problem.
Yeah, we're looking at Seth Rawls now. I think he's the only. I haven't seen too many other Mercedes. He might be the only one. Yeah, there's. Okay, we're hearing 0.7 a lap to catch Challoner for Laubish. I don't think that's going to be quite possible. Challoner's car has seemed to come a little bit more to life now. I think he benefits in these hot temps. Maybe that was exactly what he was planning on. Obviously, if we can take a look at the weather right now, I don't think the track temp has changed too much, but the sun is out. This track is cooking. There he goes. It's actually lowered a little bit. Track temp of 80. You can see the sun. You can see the sun is kind of only showing up on half the track, only in what I like to call the club section.
As Seth Rawls is the only Mercedes in the race. Figured I'd update you. Munoz has split Fanning and Rawls. As Busch to the outside of Fanning. They're battling for second in the AM class and for 7th overall. Outside Busch on Fanning. Can't get it done through turn 7, and Taylor Carroll sneaking into the picture as well. Gap up front, 4.3 seconds. The gap has to be cut by 0.7 a lap for Laubish to do anything, or there has to be a mistake for Christian Challoner in car number 7.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see here as we are looking at there. Yeah, there he is. That 0. Not to 0, it's a 32 of Busch. I think the last Lambo on the lead lap. Try saying that 5 times fast. I think we got about 5 L's in there, and here we go. We can see Seth Rawls getting a challenge here from Munoz. Am and Pro converging in one epic battle. I think if we had a driver to race vote, I think I would put it down to Seth Rawls. He has just come out and shown why he is the real deal here.
The gap was 0.3 of a second cut into from Laubish that last lap over Challoner. As Rawls and Munoz still battling. This is for 5th overall, and it does not matter for interclass battle because there's Pro versus Am, so it's not like Fanning versus Rawls here. There are 4 Am cars between
there you
Rawls
go.
Here. I am trying to keep track of all this stuff. Munoz is the pin to the grenade here because he is holding up 4 of these Am cars from fighting Rawls.
Yeah, I mean Rawls is just again driver of the race. Seth Rawls. He wasn't exactly a standout last season in the Am category, but he definitely is now. He's currently leading their field, and he's just like he's shown he started on the pole for this race and just can in dominating fashion continue.
Munoz peeks to the inside on the 125. Honestly, if I was Rawls, given the circumstances, I would almost let Munoz by. It would be more feasible then what could potentially go wrong down into the corner.
He might have just done that. Is he gonna try and hold on to it?
Side by side, exiting the corner. He's gonna have the
serious
inside for
Robbie
this
Gordon
one.
vibes here.
Outside for Tower, but he holds the spot.
Yeah, I'm getting some real Robbie Gordon vibes here. I mean, we know back in 2001 in Sears Point, California, Sonoma actually, we saw him having that battle with Kevin Harvick, who was a lap down, and he ended up losing that race to Tony Stewart. Let's hope Seth Rollins does not make that same mistake.
The gap up front, 2-minute 3:05 for Challenger, 1-minute 59.807 for Laubish. Slowly but surely arriving to the rear wing of that Audi.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Challenger's not the one who's benefiting from these from this track here. I mean, maybe it's going to be, what's his name, Laubish.
Huge run for Seth Rawls in Sunset Bend, and he is holding off these AM cars very impressively. And Kingsbury slowly catching up. So we're having a little bit of a graphics issue there. Sorry about that,
there it's back.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Looks like we got it back, though. Here we go as we're coming through turn 2 and 3 for Seth Rawls. I don't know. I think he just wants to hold on to the top 5. He wants to prove to all the pro guys that, hey, I might be an AM, but I'm still a force to be reckoned with. And there's Munoz getting real loose, and here comes Taylor Carroll. He's going to try his best to fight Rawls here.
As we're going to give you an update.
Not accurate.
Update on the running order fairly quickly. Challenger, Laubish, Janney, and Ost, they have not changed. Seth Rawls holding on, running the race of his life in 5th overall and 1st in AM. Taylor Carroll, Daniel Munoz, Kevin Fanning, David Busch III, and Ray Kingsbury, the top 10. We take a look at Busch here, hopefully on Fanning. No, Kingsbury to the inside of Busch in the Lamborghini, and he takes the spot away. 11th is Brokaw, 12th is Lambert, 13th Matt Kingsbury, Steve Lane, Brian Sohn in 15th. The gap is 3.4 seconds between the top 2 as we get closer a little bit.
I don't think he's got enough time right now. I think he needs to be about 1.1 seconds or something faster, depending on when they're going to take that white flag. I just don't see him being able to put it together for that in that amount of time, especially if he has to try and get around Challenger, which is going to take even more laps. I mean,
Chris Hickman in the 22 stays out of the way for the second place man overall.
Saying he needs about 0.8 a second to catch him. If he's got 4 laps, if we're assuming we have about 4 laps to go, it could be 3. Oh my God! Look at that back there. Is that Ray Kingsbury? I think it is.
That was Ray Kingsbury, and he gets hit by Lambert in the 46.
That's rough there. Right, yeah, those McLarens not exactly having the best of debuts. Looks like, yeah, he had that problem on that spin going into Sunset Bend, just the killer McLaren, and then just moved right out the way.
This battle for AM's not over here, gentlemen. There's a car length between Rawls and Carroll. We're keeping an eye, of course, on the overall lead as we get to 5.5 minutes left here in Sebring. What a debut race for the Nitro Circus partnership with NASA Sim Racing. I could not have expected anything less.
Yeah, we always put on such a good show here, and thankfully tonight is no different. We're seeing such a just a great clash of different personalities.
Sorry, Carroll Rawls.
Oh, he might have maybe sent him in a little bit deep there. Not quite.
There was a nudge.
Yeah.
David Busch might be in the catbird seat if these two come together. He's 3rd in AM, and he's a decent bit away from these top 2. Off the road, it looks like Chris Hickman in the 22. He's going to stay off the road, out of the way of the lead lap cars. Challenger was a 10th down on Laubish that last lap. 4.5 minutes left to go. The gap is 3.2 seconds. I don't think it's going to be enough time, but
yeah, he's going to need about a like 1.1 seconds a lap. That's not going to be enough. I think barring the mistake by Challenger, which is so uncommon.
That's Carroll.
He's going to be cruising to an easy win here, I think.
Carroll leaning on that left rear tire, screaming for mercy. Was that tire on that car, drifting the car through the corner? Rallycross is in a couple days. It's not right now, as he's pushing so hard. He was 2/10 down that last lap on Seth Rawls. I cannot get over the Mercedes today, and what a great run this has been.
Really making those silver arrows proud. Seth Rawls is the lone representative holding off the McLaren. McLaren, obviously no stranger to Mercedes power in Formula One. I think they even use a couple of them in their road cars.
As the gap is half a second from Rawls to Carroll, and the gap is 3 seconds from Challenger to Laubish. As the top two overall, they've been fighting all race long. It might not be side-by-side racing, but the strategery, I like to say, between those two drivers, you get in each other's heads and you try and fight. Carroll to the inside of Rawls, tries to take the fight, can't get it done. Munoz is enjoying this. I think he's just going to sit back and watch this as they go down to Tower Corner, turn 13. Carroll knows he's faster than Rawls on this occasion.
Yeah.
This is
1 minute 59.
The race of his life for Seth Rawls right now.
998 for Challenger, 59.6 for Laubish, 2.8 seconds, but we only got 2.5 minutes left.
Yeah, you're gonna be about a second and a half now, and that's not even counting passing Challenger. I think Challenger still has this locked up.
As Carroll got a great run compared to Rawls. Rawls split it off of Lamar Corner, turn 16. To the inside, Carroll on Seth Rawls. Contact nearly between them. It's McLaren versus Mercedes. And Carroll to the lead in GT-AM. But Rawls takes the fight, tries to. Car length between them now. And now he's got to play catch up.
Yeah, I mean, Rawls is doing such a good job holding him off. Just didn't quite get the great run off of Lamar. I think he can get him back, though. Here we go.
Into turn one.
And deep he goes.
Peaks to the inside. Much better run through the corner, side by side.
No contact made as they're coming through turn two.
Carroll's going to give him the spot back. He's going to back up the corner.
Oh, going to try and cross over, maybe? Not quite. He goes through 4, 5, and into turn 6, coming down the straightaway, into the big bend.
Minute and a half left to go before we get the white flag. Carroll to the inside of Seth Rawls. Battle all day long for the AM category. Deep on the brakes is Carroll. It's not going to work. And Rawls is going to sneak past him once again.
What a show they're putting on right now. You see them coming out onto into DeFangio corner right now. He's going to try his best to hold on.
Down to 10. Carroll deep on the brakes again, but he's not going to make that same mistake.
Look at David Bush too. I mean, he's not too far behind. I think he needs Daniel Munoz to move out the way. Other than that,
those two come together. I told you that David Bush is in the catbird seat. Challenger ran a 2:0.037, 1:0.749 for Laubish. Gap is 2.6, but we are on the last lap.
And David Bush got clear of him. Bush is now clear of Munoz. He's up and fighting with the top 3 in AM.
Last lap here in Sebring. Christian Challenger snuck his way through the traffic and has held off an impeccable charge from Nicholas Laubish, the German, in the Audi. He has tried so hard and cut down this gap, but with half a lap to go, it's going to be very hard. We focus once again on our amateur GT-AM battle. Seth Rawls, Taylor Carroll, and David Bush. That is your podium. Over 45 minutes of racing, that is all we have between them.
And you see him now coming into turn 1 there, Seth Rawls. He's got such an advantage. I don't know, can Carroll and Bush maybe catch him? You see Munoz off into the grass a little bit. He's got those 2 Matco 2 cars behind. He's not racing those guys. He might just sit back and take his P4. I mean, we got a battle for AM right now.
Seth Rawls has had such a great drive in the AM category, overcoming numerous bits of adversity when many of his competitors, I should say, were involved in accidents, and he's holding that lead. We focus on our overall leader, Christian Challener. Remember, he's the defending quote-unquote amateur champion.
Yeah, we're not seeing much of an amateur from him.
Exactly. Christian Challener, Sunset Bend for the final time. He's going to be able to taste the champagne for an overall victory here in the Penguin RC Sports Car Challenge in Sebring. Challener does it in Florida ahead of Nicholas Laubish, who tried so hard he comes home in second, and defending pro champion Michael Janney will come home in third.
And now to go right back to that battle for the AM class win. Taylor Carroll coming out of Lamar. Or no, going through Lamar right now.
We're going to have one corner left here, boys. Let's see if Carroll can get the slipstream.
He's going to get a run down here, I think. He's
down the Ullman straightaway.
Oh, he's gaining a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. He's going to have to really send it in.
Not going to do it. He's not going to do it. Final corner.
He's going to back it up. No,
backing up the corner. Can he make it happen? No. What a drive for Seth Rawls. He comes home and wins in GT AM ahead of Taylor Carroll and David Bush. Wow.
What a show we got to see tonight, fellas. There's Christian Challener. You see him, our pro winner and our overall. Seth Rawls just behind, not too far behind him. What an amazing show tonight, guys.
And on that note, I'm going to step away and enjoy this chocolate chip cookie that I was given. So, Mr. Victor Vallee and Mike Berry, if you want to handle those interviews.
You're exactly
right. You go enjoy that cookie, Josh.
Absolutely. Enjoy that chocolate chip cookie as Christian Challener, well, it's not an actual physical food donut, but he is enjoying some donuts right now down at the end of the back straightaway there, the old hairpin, and he is burning it down, and I believe we will be joined by our top two in the overall finishing order, and Seth Rawls, if we can get him in here as well. So give me a moment to go ahead and do my duties to get these gentlemen in here.
While you do that, I can shout out, we had Josh I resubscribe with Prime for 6 months. Josh, thank you so much for using your Prime sub on this channel. For those in chat who may not know, on Twitch, if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you get a free sub. It acts as if you're paying $5 a month, but it costs you absolutely nothing to use. If you haven't taken advantage of that, make sure you use it on your favorite streamer. And if that happens to be us, all the better. So appreciate that, Josh. DGRX Motorsports also subscribed at Tier 1. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. Man, what a race, you guys. I think, chat got a little quiet there once this really kicked into high gear. And we did see some Rawls fans come out of the woodwork at the end, shouting out their boy Rawls for the big finish there. And I got to say, that was more exciting than I expected it to be, and I cannot wait for next week already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I believe we are going to be joined by Christian Challener here. Your winner tonight overall. And say, GTAM no more, man. GT Pro winner. Take us through tonight, man. That was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that was nuts, to say the least. Okay, so normally in this league, when I come into practice and everything, I kind of use the practice session to build setup and everything like that, and it's doing that again tonight. And when I do that, I don't ever run qualifying fuel in the practice session. And I was like looking at the times of both Michael Janney and Nicholas, whose last name I can't pronounce, so I'm not gonna just destroy it. Both of those guys were like really, really fast, and I was like, they're qualifying pace, because they were only doing like 1 or 2 laps. I was like, I don't know if this is qualifying fuel or not. And then I was on my qualifying lap with low fuel, and I'm like, oh, this is looking pretty good. This is actually looking really good. I'm picking up a lot of time. This will be all right. And then I see Nicholas's 59.7, and I'm like, oh, it's not all right. I'm really slow, and I'm screwed. And then after that, it was kind of like in the heat. What I noticed with Nicholas's car is that he was very, very, very fast, like absolutely just insanely quick. but he looked kind of nervous the first couple of laps, especially through turn 1. It just looked like he was much looser than I was. And I was able to kind of run through a little bit harder than he was. And that was kind of how I got past Michael, because he kind of got checked up a little bit, and there was the opportunity there, and I knew I wasn't going to get many of them, so that's kind of how I sneaked that position. But that really set up what my plan was going to be into the future. And in the sprint, it was pretty obvious to me that's probably got too much wing on the car. So I thought, well, if I can take maybe a degree of wing off, and then just cut my way through the pack faster, hopefully build a gap, I'll be able to hold on when Nicholas gets to the front. And it just about worked. I mean, like, I was looking at it, I was kind of doing just quick math. Like, as I was going around, I was like, okay, so if I can keep this gap to him, it's gonna catch me like at this point. And I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna finish by then. That's okay. And it's just the whole thing of trying to keep him out of the draft. I mean, that was just qualifying laps every single lap. It was great, you know. Like, honestly, it's exactly what I wanted. I picked the R8, not really because I think it's a good car. I actually kind of don't think it's that good. And I really wanted to try and use the series to sort of figure out why people like it, why people seem to pick it a lot, why it's so popular, and to try and kind of force myself to get better in the car. And there's no better way of doing that than having really strong competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, speaking of competition, I mean, we obviously last season you were kind of a cut above everybody else. Now you're with like guys like Janny, and I also can't pronounce them. I think it's we think it's Laubish, so I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, I mean, how does preparing for the race change for you now that like you have guys who are just like so much closer to you in terms of competition?
It doesn't, in a sense of kind of in practice and whatnot, because it's all about kind of racing the track and picking what works best for you and whatnot. So I did a little bit of practice, not actually at this track last night, but just kind of at Watkins Glen. Actually, kind of sounds like a weird transition, but I'll get to that in a second. Basically, just building some ideas as concepts in terms of setups as to what I wanted to try out and what I wanted to see, what might be the best. I know, for example, with the R8 and the Lamborghini, that a lot of people, well, the vast majority of people actually like to disconnect the rear anti-roll bar, and I kind of, to be honest, I have a little bit more information than most, and I sort of don't understand why that is. So I built myself one without the rear bar and one with the rear bar, and then kind of tonight I was using practice to back them, and then made my decision on which way I was going to go. And if anybody is interested, I did run with the rear bar connected. It was the soft bar at the 1-1 position. So anyone wants to try that out, I think you should, because I actually do think it's quite good. But anyway, that's a different point. But yeah, that's kind of the whole deal, in that sort of getting a baseline on the car beforehand, just so that you got some solid setups that you can just load up, and then you can kind of run through a couple of different ideas. And then once you kind of find an idea that you feel comfortable with and it's working well, then you kind of adjust to the track off of that. So realistically tonight, all I did was I took my baseline set, softened up the front and rear springs, actually raised the rear height up a little bit, and added 1 degree of wing, and that's really all I did.
Yeah, obviously it paid off, man. I mean, you got away with the win here. I don't know. I mean, you did have a lot of pressure coming from Laubish in those last, like, basically the entire race. I mean, just not talking if you want. I think you already kind of touched on it a little bit, but yeah. Becky, got anything?
I mean, obviously, as always, I gotta ask you the most important question. Who do you got to thank for this result, man?
I just got to thank you guys for streaming it, and everybody for organizing it. I think it's a really good league. Obviously, ran it last season, had a lot of fun, and I was kind of excited to see what it was going to be with the entire field being GT3. I hope that we would get some new guys in as well, and it looks like we did. And yeah, it's a fun combination. I really like the sprints. I like the invert. It allows you to do kind of strategic plays like I did tonight, where I just knew it was critical to get to the front and the feature as fast as I could. So yeah, I really enjoy the format. And yeah, thank you for everybody for putting the race on, and everybody actually in the race, Michael, Janie, and Nicholas, for the really, really good racing at the front tonight.
Well, thank you for racing with us. Obviously, Christian Challoner, your overall winner in your GT3 series. We'll move you out here. I guess we'll let you go. I mean, thanks for coming along. And now we got who do we have next?
So I
think
believe
we're gonna go to Nicholas Laubish next.
Yes, we do.
right. Here we go. Nicholas Walbish finished second. I think. Actually, first of all, correct me. How do you pronounce your last name? I don't want to be making that mistake.
It's called Niklas Laubisch.
Okay, so we got it right. Awesome. We got it. Yes,
I was right. All right, I'm gonna shut up now.
All right. Well, Nicholas, you obviously came home second. Probably had the fastest car tonight. Take us through that race. I mean, very interesting from your perspective, I think.
Yeah, first of all, the first race was pretty intense. Unluckily, I think I fueled 2 liters less, so I had to save a lot of fuel there. Only in the last lap I was able to push fully, and then I did a 59.6 or something. But it still was a pretty good race, very intense. And in the second race, I was pretty bad at traffic management because I just wanted to move slowly through everyone because it is a 45-minute race and I don't want any damage. And also I knew that I again fueled a bit too less fuel, so I again had to save a bit. And then I saw that Christian was about 6 seconds in front of the whole pack. I was in there. So I knew I had to push a lot, and also I had to manage my fuel pretty much. I still had 1.5 liters to save after I passed the package. Yeah, and then I just made some incredible, awful mistakes. I got a slowdown right before the back straight, and once I nearly spun at the last corner. And I think if I wouldn't have done these mistakes, I think it would have been a pretty close race between me and Christian at the end.
Yeah, I mean, from our perspective, you were, I don't know if you saw it too. I'm assuming you did, but you were gaining a lot of time on Christian. I think a couple more laps, and you probably would have had it. I mean, obviously, you think letting a win slip like this, you think you're gonna look ahead and maybe learn from your mistakes? I mean, you're so good tonight. I think. What are your thoughts? I guess something like.
Yeah, I
that
think
makes sense.
I think it's going to be a very hard season. Christian is very competitive, and also Michael is very good, especially with the McLaren. He's extremely good in the qualifying, but the McLaren lacks a bit of race pace. So if he manages to start on the pole and can stay in front of us, it's gonna be pretty hard for us to drive away from him. So it's definitely going to be a very difficult season for anyone in the top 3 for us because, everything can happen. If somebody spins, you're pretty much out for that race. You just have to be very consistent to actually be able to get the championship, I guess.
Yeah, and we were talking a lot about car choice during the race. I mean, I've kind of coined the McLaren. McLaren wants to kill you. Is there a reason you chose the Audi over all the other cars? I mean, we know kind of it's considered the best one. Did that kind of factor into the reason that you're driving it this season?
Normally, I'm driving the BMW. It's a really nice car for me, and I'm just a BMW fan in general. But this time I chose the Audi because it's a completely different way of driving. The BMW, you have to drive with extremely low camber, and you don't really make a lot on the wheel. Your angle there is like half of it than in the Audi. In the Audi, you have to wheel so much more. But I think that the Audi is more stable and in general better on tires because you can drive it with full camber, which of course is faster, and it also doesn't need as much tires as BMW needs with less camber. So in general, I think it is the best car to choose. But I also think that only the Audi, the McLaren, and the BMW are able to compete in the top field, and the other cars are somewhat behind.
That's very interesting take there. As we're gonna wrap this up soon. Is there anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, of course. I thank all of our sponsors, Huawei, Heineken Media, and HP. And of course, thank you to you guys for setting up this competitive league and for the interviews and the stream today.
All right, that's Nicholas Walbish coming home with the second place overall. Thanks for coming along, Nick. And now we're gonna go to Seth Rawls. You guys in the booth here. Whoops, there's Nicholas again. Seth Rawls, our GT, or our, I guess don't even need to call it GT Pro, our AM class winner. Seth, gotta take us through those last couple laps, basically through the entire race. I mean, you were really fighting the race of your career there.
Yeah, that was probably the most intense race of my whole entire iRacing career because I don't know. I felt like I was a sitting duck, but like I had the race pace to hang on to the position. Obviously, I couldn't really hang with the top 3. So once they got by me, I was like, it's all right. Just kind of. I was trying to figure out who's AM, who's pro. That way, I wasn't letting the wrong guy go by. But the last laps of just hang on to dear life. Me and I think it was who was it? I forget his name now. I'm still new to the league, so I'm still learning people's names. But
It's all good.
we had a great battle at the end there. It was a little argy bargy, but it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, you started on the pole. Yeah, I mean, you obviously lost a couple positions there to some of the pro guys, but in terms of the AM guys, I mean, you were just like, you were in a class in the field, and a car that you wouldn't exactly expect to be competitive. You're the only Mercedes in the field. I mean, the front engine guys just aren't really that representative. Do you think, or represented? I guess the reason you chose that car is just, or I mean, do you think like it's just because you're used to it? Do you think it's just better?
So I chose the Lamborghini last season, and I've had mixed feelings in the mid-engine cars. I come from the NASCAR background, so I'm super used to like the front engine and like not a lot of rear grip. So and then in the past I've run the Mercedes, so I was like, you know what, I'll just go back to the Mercedes, run that. But I was really surprised to see no one else chose the Mercedes. I was like, wait a second, am I doing something wrong? Like, I'm the only Mercedes in the field. But hey, the Green Machine freaking held on to it somehow, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm going to try my best real quick to pull up. I can't remember exactly where you were last season in terms of the point standings. I know you were in the AM class. Do you think? Yeah, I can't. I mean, I can't remember you having that great of a season. Obviously, if you didn't have that great of a season last year, I can't 100% remember.
I ran the first
you think
half
you're gonna...
and then missed the second half.
So. Oh, gotcha. So,
yeah.
So, but anyway, I mean, do you think you're going to be able to carry this momentum going into the second half of the season? I mean, you looked so strong. Do you think?
Hopefully, Sebring was not the race I thought I was going to win. I just wanted to finish the race, no incidents. So I was definitely surprised to win it. Watkins Glen is my home track, so I've run that track a bunch of times with NASCAR, obviously. Oh, sweet. So hopefully can carry the momentum there, and the rest of the track. Super excited for Homestead. We did testing there. That was like a super fun track. I really had a ball driving that, so it's gonna be a fun season. Hopefully, the momentum up. And yeah, hang on to it.
Yeah. What else? I mean, I guess. Yeah, I guess. And finally, I mean, is there anybody you want to thank for? I mean, you got sponsors, family, anything?
Yeah, I'll shout out my own design company, SR Design. If you want to design, SethRollsDesign.com. Also, a couple of my friends' sponsors got Alves the Barber, LS May 77 Prints, Berkshire Hathaway, and then Instacart and DoorDash. Definitely use those guys if you want to get some good food. But yeah, that's about it. And thanks for everyone, my friends watching on Twitch, and hope to see you guys next week.
All right, thanks for coming up here. That's Seth Rawls, our overall winner. Not our overall winner, our AM class winner.
You're just a little rusty, Mr. Mike Berry. That's okay. Before we wrap up, Victor Vallee's got a quick programming note for our viewers that are still here, and then we'll get a final thought. And Mike, final thought?
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, just a great battle, just a great race from all the guys. Shout out to everybody in this league. We've put it all. I mean, Josh and Vic, they put it all together. I just come and talk, and shout out to all the drivers, just letting us talk about such some great racing.
And Victor. Apparently you're muted, Victor. So Victor has just been saying how great everything is. Appreciate all the staff, and I guess
let me unmute myself so I can actually talk. I gotta thank everybody here, and I'm just gonna kind of do this really shortly here. Gotta thank everybody at NASA, Josh, you, Ray, Brandon, Philip, everybody involved. Mike, I gotta thank you, and I gotta thank Charley as well for giving us the opportunity to stream on Nitro Circus. And I don't know if they heard what we're gonna be doing, but we're gonna be going over to Travis Brown's Twitch. They got the Mooncar Premiere Series at Watkins Glen tonight. That's gonna be quite the show. So stick around for that, guys. And Josh, I don't think I missed anything, did I?
You did not. Couple programming notes here on Nitro Circus Twitch, powered by the Automotive Sports Network. Wednesday nights, the Sim Racer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge, presented by Nitro Circus. We kick off that championship at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The Alzheimer's Association Flatout Challenge from the Brands Hatch circuit in the United Kingdom. Next Monday, round number 2, the 90-something Studios Grand Prix of New York from Watkins Glen International up in, obviously, in New York. But from all of us here at Nitro Circus and at the Automotive Sports Network, Victor Vallee, Mike Berry, Chad Irvine, Charlie Daniels, Ray Kingsbury, all of the staff, all the drivers, everyone involved, we thank you all for watching. Tune into that raid in just a couple minutes, but if not, we'll see you Wednesday for NASA Rallycross. But until then, so long, everyone.